welcome! Welcome to Master Swan Open number 87, our monthly 4.7k MMR Master Tournament. And we have our series already loaded and before your eyes. Hold on, as I remember to actually make predictions this time. There you go. Before us we have the first two of our players. It is in the bottom left corner of Alcyone or Alcyone. It is the blue Protoss player from Finland. It's CostPhoenix. And across the map it is his opponent, it is the red Terran player. Ooh, on Platinum Heroes actually. It is Captainfisch. I have to fix that in the intro because for the longest time Captainfisch has been on his own clan. So it looks like he has been adopted by Platinum Heroes. There you go. Again, Captainfisch is quite a regular in our tournaments by now. He has been appearing quite a lot of times in the past few months and he's a pretty good player in my opinion. So I'm not surprised at all that Platinum Heroes would pick him up. Meanwhile, CostPhoenix also fairly regular lately in some of our events. But I don't think I quite had a chance to cast him yet. I think he was featured on our channel like in the cast itself like once maybe. So you know, not too many games of his on our stream yet. So we'll see. Oh, okay. So we're starting with a frigate. Okay, let's go. For those who are wondering, this is not PTR, this is the regular live server. Our amateur tournaments are on the live servers. And as CostPhoenix is building up the stalkers, of course I did forget to introduce myself. I am Kuro, also known as 16 Squad Sanseki, that you can see in the chat quite often, as I am the co-founder of CranKy Ducklings, together with Light. And should we technically call Yaku a co-founder as well? Because I mean, he also has been there from the beginning. Doesn't have like a decision-making role, but I mean, he's also been there. Ooh, the two Reapers are meeting the Stalkers now in the middle of the map, and Captainfisch knows that something is up. The bunker is already finished, and the two Reapers will try to hold this, but I mean, the Stalkers can just try and walk past, but not with a Cyclone around. Also, as right before the stream, we also had a sub from Feast Serpent. Thank you very much, Feast Serpent, for supporting the channel. Quite a long time viewer, from what I can tell. But the Stalkers are all quite low already. Most of them have no shields and a lot of damage has been put on them as well. The first of the Stalker falls, there are two Cyclones already. One of the Cyclones is badly damaged as well, but it could be fixed, it could be repaired. There are more Stalkers streaming across the map. At the same time, the Reapers do go to the base to the Protoss and it will start to hunt down probes, so there's no coming back from this for CostPhoenix. He will be losing workers. So he has to do damage. I mean, yeah, he's just bundling the probes together, trying to save them. The Stalkers, the ones that pop out of the gateways, will try to deal with the Reapers, but I mean, still 5 probes lost. Meanwhile, the offensive is making some ground, but the two Cyclones still stand. Two Stalkers are falling down, and that is it. GG is called. Captainfisch will be taking game number 1. That's not how Uthermal does his frigate. Well, I'm not sure if... Oh, well, don't worry about this. Definitely didn't click the wrong tab. Yeah, I'm not sure if this was supposed to be a Uthermal build, but... Yes, the Sparkling Tuna Cup on Sunday will be on PTR. That is true. So apparently I'm very quiet. Look, I'm not one to yell, okay? I am... Yes. Except when you do make me yell, then that's also... You know, find the right topic. Okay, hold on. There you go, thank you. So I do find it funny how apparently I'm now named Caroline. That is not my name, but sure, whatever. Anyways, we are ready for game number 2 between these two players. And we will be loading into Golden Aura. Okay, that was weird. Anyways, we are spawning here on Golden Aura. In the top left corner we have the blue Protoss player from Finland. It is CostPhoenix. Meanwhile, across the map we have the red Terran player representing Platinum Heroes and Germany. It is Captainfisch. Captainfisch, I assume, will be playing standard. Like, he's generally not a cheesy player. It's usually fairly solid. Meanwhile, I am curious what CostPhoenix will go for this time. He's starting with a 2-gate. Okay. So definitely, I would say definitely CostPhoenix is one of the more aggressive players in that regard. I should mention that as far as I know, I would have to like double check that, but I think there is quite a rank difference between our two players, so that is also something to keep in mind. But I mean, that's exactly the point of an amateur tournament, is to have players of lower ranks be able to compete, and you know, there's a lot of bravery, I guess, in trying your best against, you know, people who might be very much better than you know. And once again we have this free gate. This time it's completely walling off the base though, so do keep this in mind. If the Reapers of Captainfisch get in, this will be very hard to defend for CostPhoenix. Like, he will have to QE the units on the other side of the wall in order to have defense. Ooh, meanwhile Captainfisch actually going for something a bit more spicy, going for Marauders with concussive shells. Only one barracks though, so not like super committed. He is going for a factory after, so this will be a more regular build. Does put the bunker down. I mean, he has scouted his opponent. He probably has seen the gateways. Actually, let's find out if he did. Yeah, he saw all 3 gateways, so he knows that CostPhoenix once again is planning to be aggressive. Marauders are already out. The Cyclone is on the way as well. He's probably suspiciously chilling there in the corner, maybe waiting for some proxy, maybe even a ninja base. I wouldn't be too surprised. Meanwhile, the stalkers are walking across the map. There's no sign of warp gate on the way. I feel like, yeah, maybe warp gate would be nice to have, but I guess with how committed this attack is, there's really no time for warp gate. Oh, and this time Captainfisch feels adventurous. He actually moves out with his army to chase the stalkers away. I mean, the stalkers do not have blink, so they cannot really escape that easily. Ooh, but the cyclone is pretty low and the cyclone does go down. So does one of the stalkers though, so I have to keep that in mind. But nice little victory there for CostPhoenix. Ooh, but he meets the marauders and one of the stalkers is slowed. And it will be focused. Only 2 stalkers remain in this army. There are more on the way at home. But I feel like because there's not, like, Captainfisch does not let CostPhoenix go as far into the base this time. I feel like that also kind of forces CostPhoenix to stay at home. So maybe we will have a bit more of a calmer game from this point. Maybe? Yes, we actually get tech. We are getting Twilight Council. So we will be getting a longer game this time. Warp Gate is on the way as well. We are transitioning. And yep, there is a Nexus in that corner. So I mean, a ninja base can be very tricky to deal with, but so we'll see if Captainfisch is able to realize that that is something that is happening. Well, we have quite a force of stalkers already. We have a sentry as well to help out, so we'll see how this small army from Captainfisch will do. We'll try to poke with some marauders and a cyclone. Yeah, but that is a lot of stalkers, and the sentry... Yeah, the sentry force field helps for a little bit, but CostPhoenix also has to be careful about chasing this army. There's just 1 stalker for it, but yeah, overall, his base is safe for now. In the meantime, Captainfisch had some time to expand himself. Also getting tanks. Just finished the Liberator that will be going across the map and is now working on his production. I say that as he cancelled both of the barracks and went for a 3rd CC instead. Oh, the Liberator is coming very close, but it doesn't quite see the ninja base. Yeah, Captainfisch is scanning the main base of the Protoss and will be going for harassment there. Blink is currently on the way. It's almost halfway done, but the stalkers are moving across the map. Oh, but if you remember, we do have a full wall off, so this Liberator will be very annoying to deal with. And it will siege the mineral line. Can CostPhoenix spot it? He is focusing on the attack. Yeah, now he spots it. The probes are moved away. And Captainfisch hides his Liberator as well. Ooh, meanwhile, CostPhoenix trying to attack on this position, but there are 2 tanks here. Third one there as a backup as well. And that is quite difficult to break for the stalkers alone. The sentry definitely helps, but not enough. Then Captainfisch realizes that this Liberator actually has no opponents in this base, so just goes straight up for the mineral line. The Stalker Warping is forced back at home to deal with this. How many probes went down? 9 probes went down to this Liberator in total. So quite painful loss for CostPhoenix, but I mean he has some stalkers at home now. He has the warp gate importantly, so he is able to warp in reinforcements. Because again, this is a full wall. Like the units that he has are not walking back, except he does have blink now. So he would be able to blink into his base. Just, you know, it's that much less convenient. The Liberator still causing some chaos in the base of CostPhoenix. Yeah, he blinks in. And the Liberator will be dealt with. This is not the end of the harassment from Captainfisch though, as we have a Medivac on the way. Just a few bio units there, two Marauders, 2 Marines, not even a full Medivac, but still something that CostPhoenix will have to deal with. The ninja base is still working, by the way. It's not fully saturated, so it's not completely paying off, but I mean, it is operational. And it has not been found out. But at the same time, Captainfisch is expanding to his 3rd already. He has the orbital there. And now he can expand on the production. Medivac is looking for the best place to drop, and we have quite a few Arthrosis pylons here. Especially the one over here in the top of the base. So that could be quite painful if Captainfisch decides to go there. And he is thinking about it, but goes for the middle of the base instead. I'm not sure if he realized, oh, this Warpies is in quite danger. The Stalkers once again have to blink into the base to defend it. But a lot of the gateways get unpowered. The poor sentry is like, guys, I want to be part of it too. Just let me in. Yeah, unfortunately the sentry will not be able to get into the base, although with the help of the Warpies it will have a better chance to do so, but now it's time. Captainfisch is moving out. We have Bio, we have Vikings, we have tanks here as well. Even a few Cyclones. There's even a Widowmine waddling at the end of all of this, so quite a diverse army. Meanwhile, we have this Stalker army from CostPhoenix, and it will be meeting right in the middle of the map. The Warpiece goes down immediately as it flies a bit too close to the Marines. Captainfisch is steaming forward. CostPhoenix makes his stance here on the ramp. This is a good position for him, but with this firepower from Captainfisch, it is too much. GG is called, and Captainfisch will be taking this game and the entire series. So once again, GG to Captainfisch, but also GG to CostPhoenix. This was, you know, a pretty solid series still, because CostPhoenix is the lower ranked player of the two, so, you know, it was still pretty good for all things considered. Let me see. Okay, I guess we can all look at the bracket and what's been happening over there. As you can see right now on your screen, we already have a result from the other series as well. It looks like Wok did go 2-0 over Dave Litos. As a reminder, this is a this is a double elimination bracket, so none of our players is eliminated yet. So you can still see CostPhoenix later on, or Dave Litos. Both of those will get a chance to advance through the lower bracket, but those are best of ones, so that is much more rough. So that is the advantage of winning in the upper bracket. I guess let me head into party. Yes, this is that moment where Kuro goes completely quiet as I'm trying to remember all the things that I have to do before the series starts. Don't worry about it. I will probably forget predictions or something anyway. Okay. Looks like our players also are asking for a minute, so that works out for us pretty well. But yeah, Captainfisch is advancing to the second round and will be facing Wok. Wok is a new player, I believe. I will check after the tournament if this is an alias, but as far as I know, this is a new player from Australia. And he is from clan Jedi Knights, which is a clan that we have been seeing a lot in our amateur tournaments lately. So like, it looks like, you know, one by one, the clan members are joining the amateur events, which is definitely great to see. And we'll see how he fares off against Captainfisch. In the meantime, Yakuzaku is still playing versus Kai. You can see him right there on the bracket. I believe Yakuzaku is streaming his POV on the Discord. So if you want to check that out, if you are a sub or a Patreon or a YouTube member of our channel, then you can check that Discord channel where Yaku is streaming. Meanwhile, another person you can see in the bracket right at the top waiting for the opponent is Zigur. And I'm bringing this up because you're probably like, Zigur, who is that? Like, I've never seen this name. And as far as I know, I believe, like, looking at our Discord server, I believe that is Samir Duran, also known as Mars. So it looks like this is another name change from our regular player lately. A very good player as well. So yeah, definitely excited to see what he will bring this time. Okay, looks like our players are ready. Let's get that set up. Make sure I'm making it on the right server. Okay. Oh, okay, hold on. So as I was setting up the lobby, I realized we are in activity. I hope you guys are ready. I sure am not. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Again, I have no idea how Wok plays. Captainfisch is generally more, I would say, macro player. Like, I don't think he's like very cheesy. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. And we are now on Post-Youth, a map I have not seen in a while, as we've been casting a lot of PTR, so it's kind of weird to see the regular maps now. It's been so long. But anyway, in the top right corner of Post-Youth, we have our orange Terran player from Australia representing Jedi Knights. It is Wok. And across the map we have the teal or light blue, although this blue is a bit more tealish, I will say. In this lighting specifically. It's still not teal though. Anyway, it is the Terran player from Germany representing Platinum Heroes. It is Captainfisch. And oh boy, we are already starting with a bang. We have double racks, double proxy racks from Wok. And we'll see how Captainfisch will respond to that. He himself goes for double gas here. And just, you know, just regular barracks. Nothing out of ordinary. He has not SCV scouted. I was looking if he maybe will send a scout, but it doesn't look like it. So I guess he will have to just defend with what he has. Question is, where does Captainfisch go from now? Will he try to expand? What will his next move do? His next move be? Where is my brain? Oh, he actually goes for a tech lab on that barracks and straight into a factory. Very interesting. Yeah, going for Marauders first, but I don't know if the Marauders will be there in time. Ooh, but that first SCV is trapped and destroyed. Very nicely done there for Captainfisch. That SCV will not be able to help in the offense from Walk. And Walk himself is also going for Marauders. Oh boy. Also, predictions. That is a great time for predictions. Guys, how will this series go? The SCV is going back home, so I guess Walk is not planning to dedicate resources to a bunker or anything like that. Oh, I see somebody, Prometheus, in the chat is saying that Captainfisch can cheese, but he doesn't like to. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Meanwhile, we have 3 Marauders coming up on the ramp, and I mean, Captainfisch has 2 Marauders on his own. He just has to be careful to not lose them too early. And ooh, he gets the first shot on one of them, but the Steam is in danger. Yeah, the SCVs were not quick enough to repair, so Steam will be denied. But we have a Cyclone out, we have the 3rd Marauder out, and that should be enough to buy Captainfisch enough time for some defense. Ooh, but the Cyclone unfortunately falls. Yeah, that is really dangerous. We have 1 Marauder versus 1 Marauder, only a Marine now in production as the tech lab has been destroyed. Second Cyclone is on the way as well. I mean, Walk did lose momentum there, but it's still quite risky for Captainfisch. The good news though is he did take that pocket base, I guess. The main natural base. So he will have some economy. He had time to expand, but he has to defend from this second attack as well. With the Marauder force, that is very dangerous for Captainfisch. The bunker is not finishing, and I mean, even if it does, there's not much to put in it. We have 4 Marauders now at the ramp. Bunker is completely denied. 1 Cyclone, 1 Marine, a Widow Mine is being currently made, but the Marauders are coming in. The Widow Mine, it will target one of the Marauders, but what about the others? The SCVs are forced off the line. Another Marauder pops up, but it is focused. And now SCVs are forced to fight the Marauders, but they're not quite able to do so. Yeah, a lot of them will fall. 6 already dead. The Marauders are being dealt with, but there are so many losses in SCVs, and even then, not all Marauders are killed off eventually. We have another Cyclone on the way, but I don't know if 1 Cyclone can do much in this situation. We have already 5 Marauders in the base of Captainfisch. That Cyclone is trying to hide in the mineral line. Smart of Captainfisch to lift his buildings so they're not in danger from the Marauders, but the Cyclone gets immediately sniped. Yeah, the CVs were not even able to get to it in time to repair, and Walk will be taking game number 1. Very aggressive game there from our Australian Terran. I feel like Marauder proxies are not the most common. But, I mean, it worked great for him. Seawalk has been watching Hearthstone. Is that something Hearthstone does? Oh boy. Now, I think Captainfisch was not very happy with how this game went. Something tells me he was a little bit annoyed. So I am very curious how he's gonna play in second game. Like, will he just be like extra careful now with his build and just, you know, play extra safe? Or is this time for revenge? Is he actually gonna go aggressive this time? We will find out. Also, now that people say Hearthstone, I just cannot unsee that clip I've seen yesterday. But we'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, welcome to Ghost River Elves. We are now in the top left corner of said map, and we are looking at our orange Terran player. Representing Jedi Knights in Australia, it is Wok. And across the map, in the top right corner, we have our teal/blue German player, also a Terran. It is, representing Platinum Heroes, Captainfisch. Oh yeah, yesterday somebody shared a clip in one of the discords I'm at, where Harstem scouts Max Packs, he sees a Void Ray, and then it's not a Void Ray. That's all I will say about that clip. It's a glorious PvP that lasts like the entire 2 minutes. It's so beautiful, and even Harstem laughed at it because it's just so silly. So if you have a chance to watch that clip, it's really good. Well, Captainfisch being extra safe, it looks like, sending that SCV around to make sure there are no proxies on the map. And I mean, good that he does so because there is an SCV on the map, but I think this is just a scouting SCV this time. So, Wok actually, you know, just opening up the series, very flashy, but it looks like he will play more standard from then on. What a good start! Yeah, I mean, look, it's there's one part of the game is, you know, the actual game, like, you know, the mechanics of the game where you, like, you know, you set up your build, like you execute stuff, and like that's one part of the game. And then there's the second part of the game where you play with also like the, you know, the mental part of the game. Who's lagging out? I can still see. No! Captainfisch! No! Okay. Are we good? Oh, we're not good. Okay, I'm gonna pause. Hold on. Hold on, we need to figure out if Captainfisch internet is dying. Apparently German internet strikes, so there you go. That does look okay, because the players are like, yeah, the middle of the map, it looks nice with the trips. I'm like, yeah, it does look nice. Imagine unpausing in this moment. It's like, who wins? But yeah, we will be waiting for the ping to settle for Captainfisch, because obviously, like, playing on 900 ping is a bit much. I mean, I guess it's not even so much the ping, but the fact that, like, the game itself was stuttery. So, you know, it's very hard to play like that. Yeah, we want our players to play in the best conditions possible. Okay. Oh, this was beautiful. I'm so sorry I didn't show it on stream, but yeah, they both extinct. I unpaused, and the moment I unpaused, they both took back the Reapers. Like, they both shot once and they just left. That was the most synchronized Reaper dance I have ever seen. Oh my god, I'm so sorry I didn't get it on screen. Beautiful. But anyways, we are back in game. Hopefully the German internet can survive. I didn't know the German internet can be like that. I mean, every internet can be like that. Like, in the end, it's just a system. It's just wires all over the place. And, you know, the connection may vary. Oh, we have a classic setup from Walk, setting up the Reapers and Hellions on the ramp. But it doesn't look like Captainfisch wants to be too aggressive, keeping his stuff at home, making sure he is safe. I'm actually so upset that I didn't get those 2 Reapers on stream. That was so beautiful. I am still in awe at how perfectly they both pulled their units at the same time. Oh well, looks like both armies will be meeting and the Reapers of Walk are falling first, but so does the Cyclone from Captainfisch. And it's a bloody battle and I don't know who will come up victorious, but I mean the Hellions are left over, but the Cyclone is quite bulky, so I don't think the Hellions can fight it. Or can fight it. So in the end, both armies has been destroyed pretty much. Both players left with a single unit each in this fight. Ooh, but as we were focusing on the offensive, it looks like Walk has gone for Banshees. And I mean, that would be all nice for him, but it turns out that Captainfisch is actually going for a Raven. So, you know, Captainfisch trying to be extra safe, making sure he, you know, as they say, crosses his T's, dots his I's. He's getting a Raven, he's making sure that nothing can surprise him. He has detection, he has the harassment potential from the Raven as well, and looks like that's exactly what he wants to do. He sends the Raven across the map. And I mean, this base looks pretty juicy. So we'll see what he can do. Unfortunately, with the tank, unfortunately for Captainfisch, that tank there will prevent the turrets from doing too much damage, but I say too much damage because, I mean, there is also potential of friendly fire, so that is something to keep in mind. The Banshee is now coming in. SCVs are dying at the same time. There is some harassment going. Oh, the second Banshee was in the natural base at the same time, so 2 Banshees. They are getting some damage done, and both of them are actually able to hide in that dead space. Ooh, but the first one of them is going down. The second one is followed by a Raven. There are 2 Ravens, in fact, so there was one for each Banshee, but I mean, the Ravens alone are not enough. You also need some units to shoot them down. And for now, Captainfisch is building up. He has a command center currently transforming into orbital. Meanwhile, Walk already has his 3rd base on the place, on the ground. It's not saturated yet, but he is working on it. So chat is updating us that Captainfisch is supposed to have fiber since 2022, but they never installed it. Look. Pain. That's all I always say to that. Just pain. I will say ever since I got fiber on my connection, it's been like you just can't go back from that. Like, you just get so used to having a good internet, like, you know. And it's especially painful whenever you try to download anything. I was actually downloading a game yesterday and, you know, you download like 50 gigs, no problem. And then you go to a place which doesn't have fiber, it's like, oh, you download 50 gigs? It's like, you know, you maybe in 2 days. Like, oh, I see. I forgot this is what normal internet feels like. Oh, as the Banshee is going down to the Viking. There are 3 Ravens already. Captainfisch is being extra safe this game. I mean, Ravens will be great for disables. Actually, more harassment as well, because I mean, even though the first harassment didn't quite work out, doesn't mean that the next one won't. At the same time, the Work also has 3 Ravens of his own, so they are both equal on that count. Both also finishing Steam Pack around the same time. Captainfisch has scanned the 3rd base and sees that there's pretty much nothing in it, but it is pretty well saturated. So he knows that something is happening. He's trying to send out scouts to check out where the army is, and he sees it coming. The first tank is disabled, but so are a lot of the ones from Walk. Nonetheless, the orange army is moving forward and dealing quite a blow to our German player. There are more tanks behind though, so Walk cannot just walk in straight into the base. But Captainfisch needs reinforcements. The Vikings are shooting down the medivacs from the sky, so there's no support for these bio units. What about the tanks though? There are still so many tanks left over. The Vikings are actually forced to land, but they don't have the firepower to deal with that many tanks from Walk, and GG is called. Walk will be taking this series 2-0. Very strong showing from our Australian Terran. GG. Yeah, I honestly, again, I do consider Captainfisch a very good player, so I didn't expect this series to be so. I mean, let's be fair. Like, it was close. It wasn't like, oh, it's like, you know, completely like one-sided. That's not what I mean. But like, Walk just showed like very strong plays with all his tanks, with, you know, a lot of aggression. Captainfisch dealt very well with the Banshees, so at least that didn't do that much, but yeah, crazy. Anyway, that is it for this series as Walk takes the Captainfisch 2-0, and we can now take a look at the bracket. As in the meantime, as we were in this series, Yakuzaku did take down Kai 2-0. So very nice there for Yakuzaku, and he is currently in-game versus Samir Duran, also now known as Zigur. Or Zigur? Look. For some names, I don't know why, for some names it just feels natural to make the like the more Eastern R, you know? I say Eastern, like I don't know what to call it, because I don't know if it's called hard R, like I don't know what the linguistic name for it is, but for those who didn't know, of course, in the chat, I am Polish, so I have my own like habits in speech, my own accent and such. And for some reason, in some names like that, like it just feels right to have like the Slavic R in there, you know, instead of the English one. But anyway, that series is currently ongoing. It is a ZVT, I believe, unless Samir Duran has changed race as well. And we will be waiting for that series to conclude, so then we can cast Walk in the next match. In the meantime, in the lower bracket, it looks like we had a walkover over CostPhoenix, so Dave Litos will be advancing to the next round, and he is waiting for the loser of the very same series. Meanwhile, Captainfisch goes to the lower bracket to face Kai. So once again, there's the lower bracket, so this is not the last we see of these players. I mean, they can be featured on the stream, but nonetheless, they are still in the tournament. They still have a chance to make it. Also, shout out to Captainfisch, who has just subscribed with Prime. Oh, GG. GG, Captainfisch. It's great to see you play, and it's great to see you how active you are in these tournaments. And yeah, shout out to Captainfisch. let me catch up on what's been happening in the chat. We always have to wait on him when he does. Like, that's what I've been saying. Like you just. It's one of these things where like once you switch to fiber, you just take it for granted. You know, you just get so used to it. You forget the good old days of having to wait forever to download anything. But yeah, there is a lower bracket, and I fully expect Captainfisch to make it to the lower bracket, honestly, because again, I do consider him one of the stronger players in this bracket. Like, from what I know, like, obviously, like, again, Wok is a bit of a dark horse because he's a new player in the tournament, but I would say that the favorite is probably Zigur. Like, he has won one of these tournaments before. I think he won an MSO. I'm sure he won an SDO. I think he won an MSO as well before. So Zigur is definitely one of the favorites, but Captainfisch is also a very strong player. But again, with Wok just popping off, like, out of nowhere, it's very possible that the finals will be between the two of them. But again, we will see. There is still the lower bracket. There is that second chance for our players. And we will find out. Oh, as we just got a score, it looks like Zigur did 2-0 Yakuzaku. So we will have our next series. Oh, we're actually in the upper bracket finals. There you go. Oh, sorry, I was muted. But yeah, I will be going on a quick break as I set up this series, and just in a few short seconds, minutes, we will be going into that upper bracket finals. Don't go anywhere. And welcome to our fresh new series, to the upper bracket finals of Master Swan Open number 87, our monthly 4.7k MMR tournament. So more or less masters, like lower masters players. Anyway, we are here on Dynasty. We're in the bottom left corner of the map. We have the first of our players. It is the Blue Zerg player from Platinum Heroes, previously known as Mar, previously known as Samir Duran, but now it's Zigur. And across the map we have the newcomer, we have the Australian Terran. Representing Jedi Knights, it is Wok. So we have the regular versus the challenger. And we'll see how that goes for both of them. Okay, so it's time for the Samir Duran special. For the pull first into 3 hatcheries. Right? 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 Where's the third drone? There it is. Yeah, for those who may be newer to our tournaments, that is just the strategy that he plays, that Zigur plays. It is the way he does his builds. It's his most common opener. It is always the pull first into the double hatch, into 6 Zerglings. I mean, not exactly in that order, as we saw that the third hatch was after the Zerglings, but regardless, that is just the way he plays, and that is not meant to be super aggressive, as in like usually after those initial 6 Zerglings he just macros up and, you know, focuses on the drones, focuses on the bases. It's just that initial aggression, the initial poke against his opponent, and it doesn't actually matter what race he plays against. I'm not sure if he did it versus Zerg, but both Protoss and Terrans have witnessed this. Unfortunately for Zigur though, the wall is solid and there are some units here as well. We have a Marine, we have a Reaper as well. But overall still will be able to scout the factor going up. But other than that, not much there for Zigur to do. Just pokes a bit with his Zerglings. Ooh, but he may be able to do it. Just barely in time that the add-on does drop. Ooh, but actually, it didn't have enough health. Or was it cancelled? I think it was cancelled. Yeah, I think it was cancelled. So either way, the Zerglings are being dealt with, but as I said, this is not, you know, this is not some committed aggression from Zigur. This is just an initial poke. Just something to keep his opponent busy while he, at home, meanwhile, is busy droning. Meanwhile, Wok has his Reaper out, and now that he has dealt with the Zergis, he knows that he can move on the map. And to be fair, he doesn't know that he can do that because, you know, often Zergs will be a bit more aggressive than that, but Wok does not know about the third base yet. He will see it now. But to be fair, at this point the Zergs probably would have a third base anyway, so I don't know how much it tells him about how greedy Zigur can be. I'm also not sure if Wok has watched our tournaments before, because if he did that, he would be familiar with the playstyle of Zigur. It looks like for now he just scouted a little bit what is going on and will be going back home for the time being. Meanwhile, Zigur is preparing for the next phase of his build, which is roaches. The roaches are on the way. There is no lair, so there will be no upgrades for those roaches. It's just straight up roaches. The vanilla roaches, some would say. Meanwhile, Wok is once again going for Banshees, and I mean, Banshees will be helpful against roaches, so that is definitely nice, but I assume they will not be for defense and will send them offensively instead. But before that happens, we have a whole bunch of Hellions prepared to potentially dive into some bases. The gold has still not yet been taken. I mean, Dynasty is a very awkward map for the Zerg because of the mineral wall. Because the opponent can get behind your mineral line and just, you know, shoot workers down without you being able to do much about it. So hello Swan. Looking good today. Very shiny. Yeah, we have Roaches and Ravagers here for Zigur, so I don't know how much these Hellions can do, although the Roaches may be out of position. I would say that the third base is in danger, but there are actually no drones on the third base. It is only used for larvae here. Yeah, I don't think Wok is quite expecting this whole Ravager-link army going across the map, and does he have the defenses? He's trying to make a wall quite desperately. But he doesn't have a single tank. He has this one Banshee. But I don't think he has tanks at all. Yeah, he has not made a single tank, and the Zerg is breaking in. The first wall is broken. The Hellions are not able to stop this. The Natural has to be evacuated, and the Ravagers are already sieging the wall to the main base. The depots are going down. The Banshees are trying their best to deal with this offensive, but there's just so much firepower here, and the first Banshee is sniped by Bias as well. The Ravagers are marching forward. There is that's a gold base for Wok, so he is evacuating there, and maybe the Hellions will be able to deal with this in time, but I mean, the Ravagers are already in the gold as well. With 2 Banshees though, this will be dealt with eventually, but there are so many losses on the side of the Terrans. 17 workers down, and the Ravagers are still not done. So yeah, well, eventually this was cleaned up. Those were a lot of losses for our Terran player. But what is the next step there for Zigur? He did not drone that third base, so he's just, you know, he's just committing to the offensive. He's making some drones now, but this is for the rest of his base. I'm actually surprised how few drones he has. I feel like usually he drones up a bit more than that. He's working on the lair though. Ooh, but the Zerglings get in. The wall was not rebuilt yet, and the workers are once again in danger. The Banshees are not really great with dealing with a lot of small units at the same time. The Hellions are, though. Yeah, Walktown has rebuilt some of his army. He has some marines, he has a Hellion as well, but 6 workers once again go down, and those were quite significant losses. The Muse will of course help, so Terran does have that backup available. But yeah, I'm just surprised at how small the economy of Zigur is. He has two full bases. Oh. Ooh. We don't talk about that. Meanwhile, the 2 Cloak Banshees are coming in on that third base. There are some drones there now. Not a lot of them there. The Spore just pops up, but not in time to catch those Banshees, and the Queens are now out of position to defend the natural, and we're starting to see some dead drones. And this is where Zigur decides to transition for a Spire. It's definitely an interesting choice in that situation. Meanwhile, Walk rebuilding his depot wall on the front base. Who is only now working on Steam. Interesting. I feel like Steam would have been done much earlier than that. Combat Shield as well, but I guess that whole attack did delay things. A lot of production though. And now Zigur is feeling confident enough to expand into this gold base, but he doesn't quite have creep there yet, and Banshees will see the base coming up as well. But the first mutas are on the way, and they should be able to help dealing with this. Do we have any overseers? We have 2, so that is potentially a way to deal with these Banshees. This hatchery is already more than halfway down though. I'm not sure this single queen, even with a Spore, can be able to deal with the Banshees in time. And now they're cloaked as well. The Overseer is not here in position. With the transfuse, the hatchery will be safe, but it suffered quite a lot of damage. Looks like maybe the Overseer was sent across the map for scouting purposes instead. And now we have the mutas, but I think the Terran has already seen them with the Banshees. Nonetheless, the mutas will dive on the gold base. There are 2 turrets though, one of them is not finished yet. Walk is a little bit undecisive as he has the muta problem in his base, but he doesn't care about it that much. He decides to move out anyway, and I mean, there are not that many mutas, so it may be a good decision. Bio army is cleaning creep for the time being, and soon will be marching forward on the bases of Zigur. Overlords are being killed off as well, which is quite important because may soon supply block Zigur, so he has to be very careful about that. He's working as a Link army. Does he have... he does have Baneling speed. He was working on that a bit earlier. And as I mentioned, Zigur is now supply blocked after all that Overlord clearing. So no more units can be made at the moment. Hive is on the way. We do not have Hydra then, so we're not going into Lurkers. So I guess Greater Spire then? The Linkbane Muta is trying to fight against this Bio army. Nice splits though, and not a lot of Banings are connecting. Oh, in fact, even the Lingbane gets surrounded by the Bio army. Nicely played there by Walk. And yeah, it looks like this army was cleaned up. And are there reinforcements for Zigur? There is some Lingbane. The Banelings are still morphing though. They are not ready for this fight. Walk did give him a little bit of time. But is that enough? The Banelings are rolling in. There are no splits this time from Walk, so a lot of the units will be going down. Even the tank is taken out by the Zerglings. And yeah, looks like this time the Terran will be cleaned up. At the same time though, there is a small drop at that gold base. That hatchery is so low, but once again a transfuse does save it. We have another reinforcing army for the Terran at that gold base. He really wants to take down that hatchery. We'll focus on the drones for now though, that is still a good pickup. The queens are falling as well. And it's a very rough position for the Zerg. It's the reason why Dynasty is definitely not a favorite map of that race, and the hatchery finally does go down to a single marine no less. Zigur of course does expand at the top side of the map at the same time, so he will be getting more hatcheries, but yeah, they're not ready yet. He also is rolling the Lingbane off the creep, not the ideal situation there for Zigur. But he is taking down quite a big chunk of the Terran army. Now we have some good speed from Walk. The Lingbane won't be enough to defeat the entire reinforcing army here. Oh, and this is very risky. We have ultras on the way. That is what the hive was for, I guess, for the upgrades. We have adrenal glands too. Is that what it's called? Is it adrenal glands? Now I'm doubting it. The Krakens. But anyway, it's not enough for Zigur to make the unit, so Walk will be taking game number 1. Yeah, I mean, Zigur was just starved at this point. Like, he didn't have the units, he was not able to remake them fast enough. And even if the ultras did come out, like, I mean, a few ultras would not be able to fight against this army. So GG, and Walk will be taking game number 1. Okay. Would be helpful if the maps were in alphabetical order, but okay, Blizzard. Don't worry about it. Okay. Anyway, as I'm setting up this lobby, this is a reminder that this is a monthly tournament. So if you want to participate, there will be another one next month. We also have CranKy Open, which is a diamond tournament for up to 4.2k MMR, which will be in 2 weeks. So if you are on of that rank, then you can also play in that tournament, and that way you will have 2 amateur tournaments a month. So that is a little bit of a bonus for the lower rank players. Also, normally these tournaments are on Saturday. We are getting this one on this specific Master Swan Open is on Friday because tomorrow is Olimo League. So we didn't quite want to clash the schedules, and we decided to move our tournament instead. But this is just for this month, just for this week, and it will be coming back to Saturday from now on. Yes, I mean, Olimo League itself is also normally on Tuesdays, but they also had to reschedule, so we were trying to figure something out that works for both of us, and that's what we went with. Yeah, if you like if you like to see these kind of tournaments to continue, then make sure to check out our Patreon. Like this tournament, together with Ducklings Open, together with the Open tournament Sparkling Tuna Cup. Yeah, I know, funny. It's not called Open, but it's the one that's like fully open. But all three of those tournaments are fully funded by Patreon. I mean, by Patreon, by the patrons on our Patreon page. So if you look at the bottom right of the screen, you can see that we are currently over 200, almost $300 a month on Patreon, and that is enough to keep these tournaments running as they currently are. Okay, hold on, as our players are ready. But yeah, that is enough to keep the tournaments running for the time being. But if you want to, you know, support these tournaments to grow them bigger, our next goal is that you see, the 320 a month, is to increase the prize pool of Sparkling Tuna Cup, our weekly prize pool. So if you want these tournaments to grow bigger and better, then make sure to check out the Patreon and maybe, you know, throw in $1 or two. Again, if you don't have the money to spare, don't worry about it. But if you feel like throwing in some change, then make sure to check it out. And again, it doesn't have to be $10, $50. Like $1 is already helping. You know, as they say, if every person added $1, we would have quite a lot of dollars. Do you have any Wood League tournaments? Ah. That would be a tournament for me. What do you mean? Anyway, we are in the second map of our upper bracket finals. And we are on Oceanborn, where in the bottom right corner we have the first of our players. It is the purple Zerg player from Platinum Heroes. It is Zigur, previously known as Samir Duran. And across the map... Sorry. Yeah, this is the moment where my voice starts to die. Oh well. And across the map we have our red Terran, representing Jedi Knights from Australia. It is Wok. To be fair, as some English speakers would tell me, I don't know if this is Wok or if it's W-O-K, you know? Because some people think that every abbreviation has to be read as letters. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And once again we have Zigur going for his classic, you know, pull into 2 hatcheries, no gas, 6 Zerglings. And we'll see how Wok responds to it this time. He does see the Zerglings with the SCV, but because he sees the Zerglings, he doesn't scout the rest of the base. Ah, but this time he does turn around. He sees that the Zerglings are not actually aggressive towards the SCV itself, so maybe he will check on that third base. Oh, but he does not cancel this lower ground. This lower ground CC, he has a Reaper to play with the Zerglings, but he very boldly decides to keep this base running. When the SCV will be going down, the Reaper is too busy chasing the other Zerglings, so the CC will be delayed. That is kinda what Zigur is counting on with these 6 Zerglings, on delaying the natural, maybe picking up some stray units. Like these 6 Zerglings definitely aren't meant to do like a lot of damage, but they're supposed to cause chaos exactly as they do. The Reaper is very low. It did heal a little bit right now, but yeah, it was so close to almost going down, but without speed the Zerglings are not able to catch up to it, obviously. While Zigur is droning up, but we'll see how much he drones up this time, because we saw last game that his third base was pretty much empty. Like, he pretty much only kept the third base for the larva production, so we'll see if this time he actually decides to go for a stronger economy, or if once again it will be a bit more aggressive. the meantime, Walk did keep his natural base, and it is now changing into orbital command. It was of course a little bit delayed, but it wasn't that significant, and the third CC is ready as well. Yeah, I also think it is just Walk, but just caps lock. It's just me poking fun because some people would like think it's weird that in Polish you read a lot of abbreviations as words, but I know there are some examples in English where you do that as well. So it's not just a Polish thing. It just depends on an abbreviation. Like some you read, some you just spell. Well, it looks like once again Walk is going for a Banshee, so it may be a bit of a go-to of our Terran player. Definitely seems to favor this opening. I don't see Cloak this time. Has it finished maybe? Or so that's the wrong time. No, there is no Cloak, and it's not on the way either, so I guess this time we will be going for Cloakless Banshees. Maybe only one. Walk is cooking. Yeah, I was waiting for that. Somebody had to make that joke, you know. Iceton is not here, so somebody had to do it. How would Zergling work this? That's a question that a lot of StarCraft players actually ask themselves. It's like, what would a fried Zergling taste like? Look. Probably like chicken. You say that, but aren't like Zergs like more like insect-like? So wouldn't it like taste more like you know, like some people like fry like grasshoppers or crickets, right? Like so, in some cuisine that's a thing. I feel like it would be more that than a chicken. But then again, who knows? As we have this Link Ravager army coming in, we have a lot of Hellions here, so that should help with the Zerglings, but this is still a huge army from the Zerg. The Banshees are trying to help out with the defense. The wall is left open and the Zerg is moving forward. Some Hellions are still left over, but the Ravagers are still alive as well. It was a nice grenade, but there are some Zergling reinforcements. The ground army is gone. That single Banshee is trying to help. SCVs have to be evacuated from the natural base of Walk. The Zerglings are coming into the main. Now SCVs are on the front lines. The reinforcing Marines are trying to fight here, but they are not enough to stop this. Ooh, a tank pops out, but it is being confused by the pathing and all the attacking Zerglings. 26 workers going down, and this number is not stopping. Tank is being dropped. It is a bit farther away, so he should have an easier way to deal with this, but there are so many Zerglings here as well. It has to be picked up. It will be sieged in the third base instead. It will be sieged. Sieged! It's not sieged. The Zerglings are catching up to it. The Liberators are out. And they will try to defend the ramp, but Liberators are not great against Zerglings. The production is in danger. Walk is losing a lot to this attack. GG is called. And with this strong attack, Zigur is tying up the series 1-1. And it was a very intense game too. This time it was Zigur. Like last time his attack didn't really do a lot of damage, but this time it was really strong. And it was able to breach the defenses of Walk. So yeah, nicely done by Zigur, and we will have to see which one of these will be going to the finals. Okay, we got our map. Meanwhile, in the chat, Captainfisch is saying that he just beat Yakuzako in the lower bracket. Sorry for kicking Yaku out. I mean, look. it happens. I mean, that's the competition, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, that is something that is a big thing, like in the pro tournaments, where people are like, yeah, so who are you cheering for? Like, who do you want to win the tournament? It's like, you know, like at this point, I either like cheer for or know most of the players. So like, it's hard to pick favorites. Like, I mean, somebody has to lose, somebody has to win, but like that's what the competition is, right? You know, we can like all win a single competition. Okay. As we are ready for game number 3 of this series. Yeah, nonetheless, GG, Captainfisch. I'm glad to see you in the lower bracket, advancing on. And it looks like we will be casting you again soon enough. But to find out who the opponent will be, we will have to finish this series first, as I believe Captainfisch is already in the lower bracket finals. I will have to take a quick look at the bracket. Yeah, he is already in the lower bracket finals, so the loser of this series will be facing Captainfisch after. But the winner will be going straight into grand finals. And it will be one of these two players, the first one of them. In the top right corner of post-youth, it is the purple Zerg player from Platinum Heroes, previously known as Samir Duran. It is Zigur. Meanwhile, in the bottom left corner, we have the red Terran player representing Jedi Knights. It is Walk. Also, so I don't get too caught up in things, a quick shout out to Rodin18, who has subscribed for 13 months. I did miss it the previous series, but yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for supporting our channel. And thank you for letting us, you know, do what we do. Of course, Zerg expanding to the half goal. And yeah, judging by the camera setup that Zigur is having, I know that in purple it's not very clear to see. Purple is one of the worst colors probably to see on the minimap, I would say, especially for Zerg. But yeah, like it looks like once again he will be going for the double hatchery after full. And the 6 Zerglings. We are here to cheer. Let's all win together in a 4v4. I mean, fair. Yeah, that is one way for a lot of people to win. But still, like, even in 4v4, like, there will be 4 players losing, 4 players winning, you know? But I mean, that's what competition is. It's just what it is. -1 FPS, the king of what? What is even happening? At this time, Wok has a solid wall. He is making that expansion in the main natural question mark. Look, Positive is a weird map, okay? I'm not even saying like, oh, like weird features. It's just like, what do I even call this? Like, technically this is a natural base, but it's also in the main. Actually I don't know if I think the add-on was destroyed. I don't think it was cancelled, and the Marine is already going down. Reaper is running for his life, but if he wants to shoot, he also has to stop, and losing quite a lot of health already. And when the Reaper is running away, the Zerglings go for the SCVs instead. Yeah, 3 SCVs going down, and some more Zerglings nibbling on that second command center. So yeah, once again, Zigur causing chaos in the base of Wok. Yeah, behind this, once again, Zigur is going for Roach Warren. I assume once again he will be going for that Ling Ravager attack that he likes so much. I mean, in both cases we have seen he has gone for it. And funnily enough, in game 2 it worked better than it worked in game 1. So we'll see how it works this time. You know, I also want to see if Walk once again will be going for Banshees, as well as it looks like both of our players have our go-to builds that they generally stick with. And only, you know, slightly alter it later on, depending on the situation. So hold on, let me fix something. This is a bit of a production kind of thing, but I do have a bit of a glare on my screen from the windows, and when the map is fairly dark and the color play as well, it's kind of hard. Anyway, the roaches are already at the wall to the base. There are so many Hellions here. Hellions are not the greatest at dealing with roaches, but nonetheless they are here behind the wall, and they are trying to stop this attack. But the roaches destroy the depot anyway. They are walking in straight into the bases of the Terran. The mineral line is in danger, but the roaches are focusing on the units for the time being. Nonetheless, few SCVs are going down. The Banshees are trying to help with the defense. There are a few Cyclones with this as well, so the roaches are being dealt with. 7 CVs do go down though. So, I mean, was it worth it? Kinda. But I don't know if this is what Zigur was hoping for. I mean, to be fair, it was also not a committed attack. As like, we were just talking about how in the previous games he went for just Link, Ravager, almost all in. Like, it was just very dedicated attacks. Meanwhile, this time it was just, you know, a bit of a poke. Just, I think it was 7 roaches sent across the map. Hello, Queen. What are you doing here? Ah, the Queen went on vacation. Oh boy. But yeah, anyway, at the same time, Zigur was able to take a 4th. His 3rd base is decently saturated at this point. So yeah, it's playing slightly differently than previously. Focusing more on macro side of things this time. Oh, what is happening in the chat? Captainfisch, pray for your ISP. Oh boy. Look, you can do this. The ISP can hold. And then we have this Hellion Cyclone attack here from Walk coming in. We spot this hatchery on the gold minerals. I mean, the Hellions are not great at destroying buildings, so it will have quite a lot of time to deal damage to that. But the Queens, on the other hand, are quite vulnerable here. But with the reinforcing Zerglings, they are able to push the Terran away from the base. The Cyclones actually both get trapped and destroyed. The Hellions of course make short work of the Zerglings, but the Roaches are not far behind. And the Terran army will eventually be cleaned up. At the same time, the Banshees are flying in. I don't know if the Banshee was able to actually get any damage done. 3 kills, I think maybe... I'm not sure if those were drones or something else, you know. Meanwhile, the Roaches did chase the army all the way back home to the Terran base, which was probably not ideal, but nonetheless. And what's the next step for our players? I mean, Zigur is working on Link Bane. He is getting upgrades, melee upgrades at that. Also an infestation feat, so I guess he will be trying to go into ultras again. That will be my guess. Meanwhile, our Terran player setting up the production, getting more and more barracks, working on that bio army. Does have a 3rd, but it doesn't have a 4th yet. And once again pushing forward towards those gold minerals. The base is very low from earlier. And it is being quickly sniped. At the same time, I think the Banshee tried to fly in again, but it was already quite low on health, so it was not able to survive, meeting a queen and a spore. What is going on here? Oh, that one queen! Oh no, it got spotted by the Marines. It was just trying to have a nice vacation. Oh. Poor queen. You know, just having a quiet walk in the neighborhood, far away from all the fighting. But the Terrans were still there. Anyway, the two Medivacs are coming back home. Rock has built up quite a bio army already. But what other units does he have? He has 3 tanks, some Medivacs for that bio as well, but it doesn't look like he's getting more mech units. Like, yeah, another tank just popped out, I think. No, I think it's one of those 3, right? Yeah, it's one of those 3. So only 3 tanks in his army. The rest of it is completely bio. And there are no more tanks in production, so Wok definitely not focusing on that. Another small army from the Terran going there to clear the creep. Zigur actually long distance mining from that gold minerals. But the drones are in danger. That small squad of marines is able to kill quite a few of them, 10 already. The queens are kinda just watching from the cliff as it happens. Now the army will be trapped, but the Medivac is still able to escape. 10 drones did die in that attack though. And I was guessing what tech it will be, and it will be Ultras, but it will also be Corruptors. There is no Greater Spire yet. So it will just be straight up Corruptors, I guess, to deal with the Medivacs. I mean, the Banshees are gone already, so I'm not sure if Corruptors are ideal choice here. Nonetheless, the Terran army is attacking now, setting up a position. The Lingbei is rolling straight in, but it's mostly tanks here. The bio is on the other side. The Corruptors are making short work of the Medivacs, and the Zerglings are cleaning up all the tanks. There's still some bio left over though. So overall, both sides suffered quite a great losses, but in the end, Terran does save quite a few forces, and the Corruptors are not able to help in this engagement. The reinforcement Zerglings will clean it up though. Terran has to focus on rebuilding this army. I mean, he has some of the bio, but not a lot of it. Meanwhile, the Lingbane is already at the doorstep. The Medivacs are now in danger as well, because the Corruptors are sharking around, trying to look for anything they can get. Again, it feels like that's a lot of Corruptors if it's just for the Medivacs. So now the Greater Spire is on the way, so I guess we will be switching to Broodlords after. Lingbane is rolling in, the Corruptors wagons again targeting the Medivacs. The lower ground army is destroyed, and Bennings are rolling straight into the main base, dealing with the rest as well, and that is enough. Zigur will be taking this series 2-1. GG. It looked very good for work, but it looks like Zigur had just enough to overrun the Terran, and yeah, it will be Zigur advancing into the grand finals. So, nicely done there from Zigur. And let's quickly take a look at that bracket. Yeah, the score. And yeah, as you can see, Zigur now takes down Wok 2-1 and is advancing straight to grand finals. As a reminder, the person coming from the upper bracket is already has 1 point advantage in the grand finals, so that is a bit of a bonus. Meanwhile, Wok is going to the lower bracket and will be facing Captainfisch in the lower bracket finals. Captainfisch did defeat both Kai and Yakuzaku on the way here. So once again get another chance at Wok, as the person who, you know, who put Captainfisch in the lower bracket was Wok himself. So this is a rematch from earlier today. And we'll see if Captainfisch can take his revenge or if Wok will confirm his position in this tournament. So with that, I will be going on a short break, getting this lower bracket finals ready, and when we are back, we will be starting with that best of 3 series. Then after that, we will be having a raffle. As a reminder, this tournament has a random participant raffle for all people who have participated and played at least 1 full series. And after that, grand finals. So stay tuned, get some drinks, get some snacks, and be right back. And welcome to Master Swan Open number 87. We are now in the lower bracket finals of our monthly tournament, and we are looking at the base of one of our Terran players because we have 2 of them here. It is the blue Terran player from Germany representing Platinum Heroes. It's Captainfisch. And across the map it is the red Terran from Australia representing Jedi Knights. It's Wok. Playing on Alcyone, of course. And as a reminder, this is a rematch from earlier today, as these 2 players have already played each other and Wok was victorious in that series. He also started the series very aggressive to mess with his opponent early on. But we'll see how it goes this time, as Captainfisch may be a bit more prepared. On that note, Captainfisch was chilling in the chat before this series, and it's just like he was sitting there, you know, waiting to see who will be his next opponent, and the only thing he said in chat after he saw who he will be facing was just, "I don't want this." that is all. I mean, no matter, like, if he can even win this series, like he has Samir Duran or like I'm blanking out. Zigur, there you go. Zigur later on, so you know, both of these are strong opponents, so no matter who he would face in this series or the next series potentially would be a tough opponent. The SCV is having a moment. Well, F for the SCV. It looks like the scouting SCV of Captainfisch was also destroyed, so there's that. But yeah, it looks like this game, our players are starting fairly standard. They have slightly different ideas on SimCity, but the builds are very similar for the most part. The first difference we get is that Wok decides to go for the command center before the starport. Captainfisch still makes that starport instead. I feel like Captainfisch is a little bit more careful, seeing how aggressive Wok was in the previous series, so he wants to make sure that he is not caught off guard by any attacks. But I mean, Alcyone is a big map, so the players can feel a little bit more, you know, confident, a little more comfortable just playing out the game. Also, another word for Captainfisch before he went into this series was, "I'll give you some fun games now, I hope." Yep. Well, let's see how it goes, as Captainfisch is making a fusion core, proxy fusion core at that, hiding it from the side of Wok potentially. And we see how that fusion card does work out for him. I mean, he has one starport at home. And... oh yeah, and Wok is moving out with a whole bunch of Reapers and Hellions. I mean, there is a tank. Captainfisch does have a tank on the high ground, so there should be too much damage done, but still, that is quite a formidable attack there from our red Terran player. He's also going so close to that fusion core, but he will not be able to see it. The natural base, though, of Captainfisch is in danger. The CV gets immediately sniped. And the base will be delayed. Yeah, there you go, Wok. I mean, Wok was trying to get on top of this Reaper ramp here, but Captainfisch has spotted the army, has seen the Reapers coming in, and has the Marines prepared there, so they cannot quite jump in. But yeah, the real question is, how is that BC gonna work out for Captainfisch? Is Wok prepared for a BC teleporting to his base, potentially? I mean, he will have a Raven. We'll see if the Raven will be home or if it will be moving out. Oh, he's actually pulling the boys! Exactly at the moment the BC teleports in, he is pulling the boys, so the SCVs are actually not there. Meanwhile, the command center once again gets delayed on the side of Captainfisch. And it will be destroyed, it looks like. It does get cancelled last moment. And yeah, the BC teleports in, but the workers are not there, like... okay, he's not pulling the boys, my bad. But he did notice the BC teleporting and like he pulled all the workers to the natural. I was really hoping it would be the boy pool, but like no, he just noticed the shimmer of the teleport quite in time. And yeah, the BC does get 7 workers, but it's not a lot. I don't think that's what Captainfisch quite expected with the BC. Like that was some split second decision there from Wok. And now the Ravens are chasing the BC around. There's a lock-on from the Cyclone as well. The BC cannot teleport back and it will be destroyed. There is another one on the way though. Almost finished producing. But the important part is that Captainfisch does not have a base. He has an orbital because he was working on a second one at the same time. But he doesn't have a second mining base. And it doesn't look like he will for quite a while. Another command center is about to finish and I guess he will be floating that into the natural. But as that is happening, like the natural Wok has been mining this entire time. Like of course there have been some disturbances in the main base. But yeah, another BC will be going down and this time I don't even think it killed any SCVs. I think it killed one SCV, so definitely not worth a BC. Although it also killed the Raven, it looks like, so... I mean, that's also a nice little bit of damage, but again, it is quite painful to lose this big flagship unit. And while the tanks are here to protect the natural from the attacks from Wok. One of the tanks does go down though. Captainfisch working on another BC. Look, I don't know, you know. It's just like the first BC did okay job. The second BC had a bit of a struggle. I don't know if third BC is a good idea. Or maybe send like 2 at a time or something. I like, yeah. Yeah. I feel like the BC needs some support. Nonetheless, it will be flying over. It will not be teleporting this time, which is important to point out. So there will be a teleport available. Also, 99% useless fact. Did you know that when BCs have Yamato, like the front of them like opens, like there's a cannon on the front. And when they don't have Yamato, like on the model, the cannon is closed. And when you research Yamato, like the cannon is open. Fun fact. In case you didn't notice it before. And yeah, now Captainfisch is able to see the army and he just straight teleports out. He doesn't risk the BC. And that BC will be able to be used later on. I think you can tell though that Captainfisch is probably not using this strategy too often. I feel like maybe he doesn't quite have it worked out, like exactly how it works, exactly the timings on it. But anyway, it is time to defend as Wok is now moving forward. There are 3 ravens in this army. A lot of Vikings, 4 ravens actually already. How many tanks does Captainfisch have? 4! So there's 1 raven to 1 tank of Captainfisch. Oh, the BC gets Matrix actually. Interesting choice. One of the ravens goes down. But so does the tank of Captainfisch. There are a few tanks in the army of Wok. Actually, there are 2 tanks. The rest of it is Cyclones. So not too heavy on the siege power. Ooh, a nice anti-armor there from Captainfisch. But it doesn't look like any of the units of Captainfisch can really reach Wok, so it doesn't quite matter at the moment. It's I guess more to keep Wok away. While the production of Captainfisch is sieged from the low ground. And I mean, with all this tank siege, he cannot really move to defend his position either. At the same time though, that BC once again goes into the base and is able to teleport away, taking a few more SCVs. I mean, Captainfisch has quite a problem at home. Yeah, like look at this economy for Wok. Like he's making 2 more CCs, he has 3 bases set up. Meanwhile, Captainfisch was barely able to set up his natural. He is now flying over the 3rd command center, the 3rd orbital, but with Wok's army lurking around, it may prove quite difficult. Oh, but this is the moment Wok is unsieged and Captainfisch is moving forward with the Steam Marines, taking down both of the tanks immediately, focusing the rest of the units. I think one of the ravens may have gone down as well. Second one is quite damaged, so that was a really nice aggression there from Captainfisch, sniping the important units of Wok. Very nice move. And not losing anything of his own, really. Meanwhile, Wok is working on Blue Flame. That's definitely an interesting choice at this stage of the game. That BC once again is sneaking around, trying to get into the bases. Is it even or no clone saying that this is actually a fun game? I mean, Captainfisch did say that he will bring us some fun games, so... Oh, as we have a Liberator in the base of Captainfisch. Doing damage to the drones. Oh, did the BC die? I don't think it did. Did it teleport away? I think it, yeah, it teleported away to deal with the Liberator, but still so many SCVs are dying. The Blue Flame Hellions dived into the 3rd base and 19 workers of Captainfisch has died in total. But yeah, this Viking patrol is quite scary. The BC was not able to get in, but it was able to go back home to deal with the Liberator eventually. And now we're working on Yamato. I have to keep an eye on this Yamato so I can show you the cannon. I know that this is such a either it's such a little thing that you know I feel like Terran players know. Like I feel like people who play against BCs a lot as well. You probably know, but I feel like it's such a small thing that people often don't pay attention to. I was hoping I can show the front of the BC. But like, it's such a neat little thing that like, that the things are actually like, you know, reflected on the model itself. Come on. Show us the Yamato. It's so close. I know there's a fight happening soon, but Yamato, no! Please see no! Not now! God. So sad. Anyway, the Ravens of Captainfisch are moving forward. We'll try to disable all of these tanks in the base as the bio tank army is right behind. A nice anti-armor missile on the entire army of Wok as well. But so does the Wok to the bio army of Captainfisch too. The Marines are going through the mid grinder as there's the line of siege tanks on either side really, but yeah, I don't think Captainfisch has the staying power. There's still quite a few cyclones, but to be fair, most army of Wok here are Vikings. The tanks are able to destroy one of the orbitals of Wok. But then now the Vikings are coming and it looks like they will be landing right on top of these siege tanks. And the army of Captainfisch is cleaned up. And as Yamato is finished, we have no PCs to show the Yamato cannon. I am very sad. Yeah, this is a huge army from Wok. And I'm not sure if Captainfisch has enough to defend from this. There are no tanks, really? Yeah, there's only a single tank. There are more in production, of course, but yeah, Captainfisch was not quite able to remake the army after suffering all these losses, and it looks like Wok has completely switched into mech. He has cyclones, he has tanks, he has Vikings. And this bio army of Captainfisch is not able to contest that. We'll try to steam forward and we'll snipe quite a few units, but that is not quite enough to break this siege. Wok is slowly inching forward, sleepfrogging the tanks. Oh, nice shot from Captainfisch there as Wok was still setting up. Once again steaming forward, and Captainfisch is able to take quite a few of the tanks, but loses the entire bio army in the process. And that is enough. G is called. Wok will be taking game number 1. So once again, Wok is in the lead. So reminder, this is a rematch from earlier today, and Wok was able to take the previous series. But Captainfisch is not out of it yet. He still has another chance, but he cannot lose a map from here. And welcome to Ghost River, where in the top right corner we have the blue Terran player. Representing Platinum Heroes and Germany, it is Captainfisch. And in the top left corner of the map we have the red Terran player. Representing Jedi Knights and Australia, it is Wok. And as the chat would say, Wok is cooking. I'm so sorry. I had to. shaking my head at myself. That is all. Have I become steel mold? Whatever. Anyway, our player is going for mirror build so far. Double gas. Single racks at home. And looks like, oh, the SCVs, they will meet, they will meet. There you go. Streamer always mentions the probe book, but what about an SCV high five? You know? Look at an SCV high five. And both of our players are trying to scout each other, but both ramps are being walled off, so they will get about the same information about each other. And yeah, still mirroring. Going for the factor, another high five. Oh, this time they crossed each other. Oh. Looks like Captainfisch is faster on an add-on, getting a reactor for his barracks. Meanwhile, Wok opting to not get an add-on for the barracks and just goes for Reapers instead. That's our first difference here between the two players. Captainfisch's Reaper is now already across the map and going into the main base of Wok. Again, he will have 2 Reapers for defense. He has 1 now, but the second one is close to pop out. Captainfisch has to move back. He got a good scout of the base, but the Reaper is in great danger. Looks like he will be able to escape with his life, just barely. And once again, Wok is opting for that command center before the starport. Meanwhile, Captainfisch does get the starport, does get the regular 1-1-1. And yeah, welcome to TVT, really. And we didn't have tank bio versus tank bios like siege lines yet. Ooh, but Wok is setting up on the ramp. And Captainfisch is going away. He's going the long way to make sure he does not walk into a trap. Ooh, but who shoots first? It looks like both of them will lose a Reaper, but actually the other 2 Reapers are quite low, and it looks like Captainfisch will be losing this engagement, but yeah, both players kill pretty much all of the Reapers and all of the Cyclones, but it looks like Wok was just barely victorious in this engagement, but there are reinforcements coming. To smell what the Wok is cooking. Ah boy. Yeah, we have another two Reapers and a Cyclone from Captainfisch. Going straight for the mineral line in the natural base of Wok. Wok himself was going across the map, but it looks like he will be moving back, seeing this aggression here from Captainfisch. 3 SCVs down. But yeah, actually Wok decides to commit. He drops Reapers and a Cyclone into the base of Captainfisch, but there is a tank there to defend, and all of the SCVs are hugging the tank, making sure that it's okay. It's a moral support tank. But it's not the case in the natural. There are a few Marines there though, and it's enough to fend Wok off, but still, Captainfisch does lose 5 SCVs in the process. Meanwhile, the mining is completely denied in the natural of Wok. Captainfisch even dropping a turret in the main base, so now denying the mining in both bases of Wok actually. The units are not out yet for Wok. Tank is about to pop out though. The Marines were able to snipe down the Cyclone. And that will be the end of the ground aggression, at least, from Captainfisch. At the same time, Wok is still trying to drop in the bases of the German Terran. Oh, German Terran, that's a fun one. And Captainfisch still has that Raven, and the Raven will be dropping turrets. The tank will, of course, help with defending this, but it's generally just better to wait it out because, you know, the turret will time out anyway, but it is lost mining time, so no, it is a trade-off. It looks like they're even had enough and we'll be going back home. We'll be meeting with that Medivac on the way. The Medivac only was able to save one Reaper. Yeah, looks like both of our players were like, you know what? We did enough damage. It's time to have a gentleman agreement and go back to our bases. Yeah, we will see each other in 5 minutes. But it looks like overall, it looks like Captainfisch was a bit more efficient in terms of like the losses. Like he lost a few less SCVs, definitely. And then one less Cyclone. So overall, yeah, it looks like Captainfisch was faring slightly better in those engagements. The differences are not huge though. Have to keep that in mind. Ooh, a tank drop from Walk with a few Marines on top. Sieging the production of Captainfisch, definitely very painful at this stage of the game. Captainfisch rushing with his own units to try and defend his buildings. I mean, one of the adults has already been denied. Ooh, but this tank has been disabled and it will be going down. So Walk has paid for it with a tank. And Captainfisch was able to keep all 4 tanks of his own. Medivac is now rushing home. How many tanks do we have for both players? We only have this one tank for Walk. That is very crucial moment there because, you know, with 4 tanks, Captainfisch will have quite a lot of firepower and we'll see if Walk has enough to defend this push. Does it coming? He sends the Marines out to check out the situation, but the fighting in the choke point is probably not ideal. Ravens go down. The Marines are steaming forward, the bio has been dealt with and the tanks are being destroyed as well. Captainfisch caught a bit like, I don't say out of position, but yeah, out positioned by Walk, just forced into a choke, going up a ramp, and he lost all of his units there. Very unfortunate for our blue Terran. Meanwhile, Walk is securing his position, he's getting more tanks now. Already having 2 sieged in the middle. And more tanks on the way. Captainfisch decides to go for a marine drop instead. I mean, the natural base is wide open, there are no defenses here whatsoever. Beautiful line of marines going across the mineral line. The tank is being focused, but it is repaired and the marines are not able to take it down. 2 SCVs going down so far, a few more will be going in the main base, but yeah, this drop is also denied. Captainfisch working on reinforcements, sending another drop across the map. Okay, how is the tank situation now? Now it's Walk's 4 tanks to 2 of Captainfisch. That said, it looks like Captainfisch, yeah, he has 2 factories producing tanks. Meanwhile, Walk? Wait, where is his factory? Yeah, it's only the one in the middle, so Walk has less of a production in terms of factories. So Captainfisch is definitely producing the mech units faster. So that is a little bit of an advantage in that regard. Combat shield is about to finish for our blue Terran. She's steaming forward towards the 3rd base of Walk. Ooh, the orbital actually goes down. It is being focused. The SCVs do too, but now the tanks are sieged and Captainfisch has to move back. He can't just go for a frontal attack because he will lose all of his units if he does so. Oh, it looks like he wants to make an opening there. He loads some of his marines into medivacs and going straight into the main base. Of course, Walk does see this. He will try to intercept it, but it's not there in time. That said, there are not a lot of marines in those medivacs, so they will not be able to do a lot of damage, but still 6 SCVs are going down. Unfortunately for Captainfisch, the auto turret from the Raven was able to distract the Marines and they were not focusing the SCVs. And losing all of that army, Captainfisch doesn't quite have the firepower to continue the siege of the third base of Walk, but nonetheless he did destroy that base, which is very important to keep in mind. I mean, it's especially important because Captainfisch does not have a third of his own. He is working on that command center, but he has not expanded yet. Oh, but the armies may meet in the middle, and I'm not sure Captainfisch is ready. Yeah, great anti-armor missile on the entire army from Walk. Even though his army is badly damaged, he is able to face Captainfisch head-on. And destroys most of the tank count, really. Oh, another small drop, or maybe even a unbind. No, I think it was a drop. Few Marines from Captainfisch destroying 3 more SCVs. Now Captainfisch is trying to set up that third base, but I mean, he's been losing a lot of army and Walk has been saving his units. He's been building up quite a formidable force, which will be going across the map. Question is, can Captainfisch stop it? Can Captainfisch defend? He's not even set up yet third. The first of the tanks gets disabled. One tank of Captainfisch is down. The tanks of Walk are sieged, so they are preventing the third base from being taken. Walk has not rebuilt his third base, by the way. I think he has the command center in the natural. I think he's floating over now. But he does not have it yet. So both of our players are fighting for the third bases. Looks like we have another drop from Captainfisch in the main base of Walk. Oh, the Raven actually goes down. It does get focused and the tank will be going down as well, it looks like. Oh, maybe not. Just barely not. Just barely with 19 HP. Oh, but Walk also drops in the main base of Captainfisch and he has 2 medivacs here. 2 medivacs full of Marines. The production is in danger. The starport is being targeted. I mean, that is the only starport of Captainfisch, so no more medivacs for the time being. At the same time, though, Captainfisch is surrounding the army of Walk, but he barely does not have enough forces to kill all of this. But okay, never mind. Looks like with the tanks, it was enough to defend the tanks. But now that the Bioforce returns, this is actually really close. Yeah, he might have cleared this army, but Walk has reinforcements. And this is pretty much the army that Captainfisch has. He has the Marines, he has 1 tank that is coming right now, and GG's called. Walk will be taking this series 2-0. So GG. I mean, Captainfisch did say he will at least try to bring fun games, and I mean, those were definitely some fun games. He did play very well. But Walk turned out stronger today. Once again, GG to Captainfisch and congratulations to Walk, as he will be going to the finals of Master Swan Open. Oh boy. As oh, that is so funny. As in-game, the players, Captainfisch says, GG, but please, defeat Zigur. And Walk is like, I will try. Oh boy, that is pretty funny. So yeah, the Terran Brotherhood. The Terran Brotherhood is it's an order from Terran High Command. Oh boy, our Terran players are having a bit of fun. And yeah, Wok is getting ready for that grand finals, and so will be we. Uh, that that grammar made no sense, but sure, whatever, Kuro. But anyway, we need to get some stuff ready for the grand finals, and also after this short break, we will be having our random participant raffle. So make sure to stay tuned in that. Also, I should probably show the bracket right before we go into this break. As a reminder, Zigur is the one waiting in the grand finals, and that is what we will be going for after this break, after the random raffle. So if you participated in this tournament, that this is the time you have to tune in, you know, get settled, like get some drink, and get ready for the random raffle right after this break. Be right back. And welcome to Master Swan Open number 87, our monthly tournament for Masters players up to 4.7k MMR. We are now currently in the grand finals of our monthly tournament, and before we get there, we have something very special to do first. No, God, every time. Like you have to refresh this every time because it just shows the previous winner. Congratulations, Iba Kappa. Anyway, we have our random participant raffle. For those who may not remember or are here for the first time, our tournaments, Master Swan Open, Zigur Open, and Sparking to the Cup, all three of those have random participant raffle, which means that a lucky player, no matter if they lost in the first round or if they are in the finals, all of those players that have participated, have completed at least one full series, are eligible for extra $5, 5 USD, for, you know, participating. Again, this is completely random, so we don't know who it's gonna land on. And without further ado, let's roll. We have 7 players available, 7 players eligible today. And the winner for today is, drum roll please. I can't drum roll. It is Wok! Our winner today is Wok, so he will be getting $5 extra, no matter the result of this grand finals, so, you know, there you go. And yeah, without further ado, let us get ready for these grand finals. I, of course, definitely set up my casting tool for that, don't worry about it. I'm very good at remembering things. There you go, and it's grand finals. Finals, not finals. There you go. You're all good. Just reporting. Just reporting to Wok. He's very surprised to have won the raffle. I don't think he knew that this was happening, but regardless. Okay, let's check if our players are ready. As we definitely are ready. And yeah. Cheer, Jeff. Let's begin. Wok is cooking. That's gonna be the line for today. Wok is cooking. Ah, boy. Welcome to the first game of our grand finals of this month's Master Swan Open. One day I will not accidentally press something else. Anyway, we are here on Crimson Court in game number 1, or technically game number 2 because 1 point up, look. Anyway, we are looking at the bottom left corner of Crimson Court, where we have the first of our players. It is the purple Zerg player from Platinum Heroes. It is, formerly known as Samir Duran, Zigur. And across the map, it is his opponent. It is the red Terran player representing Jedi Knights. It is Wok. Zigur, of course, starting with that 1-point advantage. As a reminder, in the Grand Finals, it is a best of 5, but the player coming from the winner's bracket, from the upper bracket, does have 1-point advantage in the final series. So it's a bit of a bonus for winning those series early on. And yeah, we'll see. Okay. So Wok just starting with a Turax in the wall, straight up. Okay, I see where we're going. I mean, as we saw, Captainfisch has said that the Terran High Command has given an order to Wok to win this series. So, you know, Wok has to look. His honor is on the line, okay? If the Terran High Command told him to win, like, he has to do his best. It's still funny. But yeah, we have those 6 Zerglings from Zigur as usual. Again, for those who don't know, Zigur, previously known as Samir Duran and previously known as Mar, he is quite a regular in these tournaments, and he has... I'm pretty sure he has won a Master Swan Open before. I have to double check that. I'm sure he has won Ducklings Open before. Ooh, this Reaper actually gets trapped! Very unfortunate there for Wok. Usually that doesn't happen. But he will have way more Reapers back in the base. Ooh, the poor SCV is trapped outside. But the wall is solid. But as I was saying, Zigur is definitely one of the favorites of this tournament. I mean, the favorite probably, but Wok has shown us some strong builds today. He is the newcomer of our events. I don't think he has played before, unless it was under a different name. So it's definitely interesting to see the dynamic between these two players and who can take it this time. As a reminder, this is again a rematch. They have met before in this tournament today. And it was a 2-1 score for Zigur, so it wasn't a 2-0. So it should be a decently close series here as well. Ooh, the 3 Reapers are going into the third base. There are not many drones there though, again. Actually, this is a natural. But yeah, there are not that many drones on the side of Zigur. Once again, he is not droning as hard as I would expect him to. But I mean, his Zerglings also didn't quite do the job that he wanted either. He did get that first Reaper nicely, but after that, like, these Reapers have been a nuisance. And this Wok is getting his orbital, he's getting his natural base, as usual. Getting 3 more racks in the base. Ooh, we got it going 5 racks Marine from this. Very intense from Wok. I want to say aggressive, but I mean, he's not attacking all that much yet. But yeah, very committed there from Wok. On 2 bases, no less. Zigur was forced to make a few more Zerglings, which is again quite unusual for him. These Reapers have been proving quite annoying to our Zerg player. 2 drones already down. Bending test is on the way, and so is the lair for the bending speed, I assume. Oh, but the first of the Reaper does fall down. I mean, Zerglings do have speed now, so Reapers do have harder time escaping from them. What is Zigur's plan here? Once again, he is working on that bendingness, so we will be seeing Lingbane for the time being, but what is the next step? Will he drown this third? Will he get the Roach Warren? We will soon find out. Meanwhile, Wok is ready with his Marines. There is no Medivac with this, as I don't even think the starport is out. Yeah, the starport has not been built, there's only a factory, so those are just Marines with no support. They have combat shields, but they will not have any healing. Few drones on this third base have to be evacuated, and the hatchery itself is in danger. The Reaper is holding off the queens on his own. Now the queens are joining the fight, supported by some Zerglings. There are no banelings in this army. I guess Zigur didn't have time to morph them yet. The Zerglings are streaming straight into the marine forces, and they will be able to shoot through them eventually. There are reinforcements though. Eventually the Zerglings do get cleaned up, but I mean there's sure to be reinforcements from the Zerg as well. And Wok has to regroup. I mean again, he has a lot of production, but is he able to utilize that production? 5 racks, all of them producing no add-ons of the 3 racks in the main base. Starport is on the way, third base is also being built in the main. Looks like Wok will be transitioning into the next step of the game. Getting his upgrades ready, getting his tech. I don't think he did the damage that he wanted here. I think he was hoping to get that hatchery probably. But yeah. Also, this finally we have a moment to mention that. Welcome Steelbolt to the chat. Steelbolt, who, for those who don't know, back when the amateur tournament started, for years Steelbolt was our casters for the amateur tournament. So like this is the home ground for Steelbolt, you know. This is what he was casting when he used to be more active in that regard. So it's always nice to see Steelbolt watching these amateur events still. And Stick, you should watch one of my intros early on. One of my intros of Wok. Just saying. You'll find it. You'll know when you see it. I literally said, have I become Steelbolt? So this link bane is now going forward. There are middle mines, but they are not burrowed, and most of them get destroyed before they have a chance to do so. The wall is open, the link bane will be rolling in. The marines are trying to escape, but the SCVs are wide open, and all of them will be blowing up. 24 SCVs going down. The marines are making a stand on the ramp, but those are huge losses for the Terran. And there are still some Zerglings left over. They will be hiding on this side of the wall, which is quite scary, honestly. Wok going out with a drop, with a marine only drop. Okay, I guess he will be only like during creep, maybe, you know, poking at the bases of the Zerg, but I don't expect anything more ambitious on that front. No, just limiting the vision of our Zerg player. Also, someone was saying that Zigur is not getting overlord speed. Just saying. This is overlord speed, right? do I... Is it? Do I confuse my upgrades? I probably did. Ooh, the hatchery is actually killed. This is not a cancel. As another 2 medivacs are dropping into the main base. Zigur a bit distracted by the marines on the front. Yeah, it looks like both drops will be doing damage. The drones have to be evacuated, but they have no place to evacuate to. They just huddle next to the wall. The marines will be able to get to them eventually. At the same time, the queens are defending in the main base. There is a widow mine there, and I think it already shot probably at the drones, as there was nothing there before. The queens are going down as well. There are no transfuses. They are out of energy. And just like that, GG is called. Wok will be taking this game despite, you know, the beginning not going ideal. He was able to overwhelm Zerg with his drop play. Very nicely done. go. I need to write down the maps to make sure that they don't repeat. Still say I am busy flying my spaceship. Where's the stream, Stick? Where is the stream? I told you, where's the stream of the spaceship just flying for 8 hours? It would be a great, like, you should play like some lo-fi in the background and just make it an ASMR stream. Like no commentary, like no microphone, just the ship just flying for 8 hours. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. Good morning, Fiant. Nice to see you here. Ah, Fiant just came home. Okay. Wait, so early? You're still at... Aren't you still at school? You end school so early? What the heck? Shaking my head. Kids these days. Kappa. Anyway. Make sure the scores are properly displayed. As we are now on map number 2, but game number 3... Don't ask how that map works. Anyway, we are on Oceanborn, where in the bottom right corner of said map we have the purple Zerg player. It is representing Platinum Heroes, previously known as Samir Duran. It's Zigur. And across the map it is the red Terran opponent. Representing Jedi Knight, it is Walk. Oh, also I pressed the wrong button. Oh, hold on. There you go. Look, it's been a few hours. Furo is getting tired. Okay, so far... I was gonna say, so far, no, we're not starting normal. We're not starting star. We're going for the 2 racks on the ramp this time. So yeah, slightly different, but the same. You know, this time it's not on the low ground, it's on the high ground, and I mean, that means he's walling himself in one base, right? Like obviously, like you cannot really do that on the low ground on Ocean. I guess you could kind of do it here, but it's also quite wide. But yeah, he's walling himself on one base. Don't tell me he's going one base 5 racks. We'll see. We'll see. Zigur, meanwhile, going for his old reliable 6 Zerglings, 2 hatcheries. And we'll see how he does versus the Reapers. The Overlord will see that the first Reaper is out and will be scouting the racks soon. I will read the chat in a second. As the Zerglings are here, the Reapers are ready for them though. Three Reapers already and the Zerglings are being kited and all 6 Zerglings will be going down. Of course, seeing all these Reapers, Zigur is aware what is going on, is aware of the aggression from Walk, and yep, we are going 1 base 5 racks. Okay. The common setter is of course on the way, so it should soon be floated into the natural, and with the Zerglings being dealt with, it probably will be safely set up. 3 Reapers are already across the map in the Zerg base, but they're not really doing any damage. They're mostly poking at the 3rd base of Zigur. maybe catching these drones. Fortunate for them to spawn at that hatchery. Oh, the Overlord actually survived. The scouting Overlord from Zigur. Interesting. Oh, but the Reapers are meeting with the Queens now. One of the Reapers is so low, but it just barely escapes with its life. Nice done there from Walk. Saving all of his units. Actually, has he lost any units? No, he has not lost a unit yet, so very nice micro there from Walk. And Zigur will have to try to figure out what to do with all these Reapers, because the single Queen may not be enough. The two Queens will try to defend from this, but with the Reapers being kited properly, I mean, they shouldn't be dying. Yeah, one of the Queens actually goes down to the Reapers, and the Reapers just go away, heal up, and will come for the other one. In the meantime, back at home, Walk is working on Steam, is working on combat shields, and is pumping out Marines out of 5 racks at the same time. Important to mention though is that that is all production that he has. There are no factories, no starports. The second orbital of course is on location and is mining, but they are just Marines. They have upgrades, but they will have no support whatsoever. No medivacs, no mech units. So if this attack by Walk fails, like it will be very difficult for him to, you know, to rebuild that army. That said, he is getting an NG base, an engineering base. So he is planning to, you know, progress in that game. This is not like an all-in. He already stopped production from these barracks and is getting add-ons on them. So, like, this is his timing. This is where he wants to do damage, but he is getting ready for a transition from this. Banings are already out this time. Last time Zigur didn't quite have them. They don't have speed though. Speed is about to finish. Walk has to speed. And the speeds were not enough. I mean, it's hard to split where there are as many Banings as there are Marines, and the entire army of Walk is cleaned up. I mean, so is the one of Zigur pretty much. But Walk was definitely hoping for a bit more damage for how much he had to focus on this build. I mean, he has been pumping out Marines for this entire time, the entire early game. He has sacrificed the timing on the factory, on the starport, and it pretty much did no damage to the Zerg. Like, it forced out some units, yes, but no economical damage was done. While Zigur is preparing another link main attack. I mean, he already has made all these units, might as well. Like, he lost the entire army, but he was remaking it. He is remaxing on this link bane. And he will try an offensive this time. I mean, this wall is not very strong. It's just depots, so they can be easily busted by the banings. And Walk has been rebuilding Marines, but it's just Marines. Oh, but the wall is not focused enough, so a lot of banings actually are wasted. Some link bane is being dealt with by Widow Mines, but it's still enough to deal with all of these Marines. SCVs are being chased by banings. And the wall to the main base is not closed. The banings will be able to catch up with the SCVs eventually. 11 SCVs going down. More being damaged. And the Zerglings are still rampaging in the base. The reinforcement from Walk are being caught by the Zerg units. But he just has enough to chase the Zerg away. So with that, let's take a quick look at how our players are doing. Yeah, so Walk has lost 16 SCVs in this attack. As well as a bunch of army, of course, so... I mean, at the same time, like, we see how many Zerglings, like, Zigur has lost, so... I mean, he also has traded quite a lot, but he barely lost any workers. And another wave of Link Bane is here. The Widowmine will help, but actually it focuses on a single Zergling. The wall is once again busted, more Banelings are left over, and the Bio army is not that big. Ooh, but another Widowmine shot is able to take out most of the Banelings. One of the Banelings does make it into the mineral line, but it takes 2 to kill the SCVs, so they will survive for now, but they are all in red health. Like, any Link run by will be able to pretty much destroy the entire mineral line. A bit of a marine run by trying to get into the bases of Zigur, but the queens are there to protect. Meanwhile, Zigur is getting his upgrades, getting his economy up, droning, getting a 4th base. Wok has a 3rd command center that he is floating over right now, but we'll see if like Zigur will let him take it, because I mean, if he keeps attacking with these Link Bane waves, like that may be very difficult, but it looks like he's focusing more on economy right now. Meanwhile, Wok is sending out 2 of his medivacs. Overseer, of course, does spot that. This double drop will do some damage. The hatchery may be in danger, but Lings are here to help out. Quick pick up. And Wok will be going to a natural base instead. At the same time, there are some run-bys in the bases of the Terran as well. But no SCVs down. The drop eventually gets 3 drones, but is cleaned up, and Wok has to move away with the remaining forces. Oh, these overlaps are quite far from home. Once again, Wok is trying to get some drop play going. He has few sets of medivacs going around the map, trying to see if maybe there is an opening for him to do some damage. He did supply block Zigur, which is very nice. So I see in the chat Captainfisch say, can we send Terran fleet to help out? Can the Grand Command, can the High Command grant us some BCs? Of course, Captainfisch, another fellow Terran participant of this tournament, cheering for another Terran to win this tournament. Oh, as the Link Bane meets the Bio army on the choke point, and some unfortunate move commands over there, and that force will be cleaned up by the Link Bane. And where are we going from here? I mean, looks like Wok is still focusing on Bio. He is getting some Widow Mines in the mix, so you know, every now and then there is a Widow Mine or 2, but he's mostly focusing on drop play. He's getting those, you know, double medivac squads to go around the map, to clean some creep, to kill some drones potentially on the fringe bases. But we have the Link Bane ever vigilant, chasing it off at every possible location. But yeah, Zigur has to split his attention quite a bit, so there's definitely doing some work. Oh, this hatchery is so low. Yes, he focused it and the hatchery does go down, but by the cost of the entire medivac, and I think with the army inside as well. Oh, and Link Bane is here. Once again, Zigur going for the Corruptors to deal with the medivacs. This time he went only for 4 Corruptors. Oh, I see there are more in the base as well. There's so many queens too. The Terran army is here, and we have a lot of Link Bane to fight against it. The queens should have out as well. Once again, there are no tanks. I said no tanks. There is 1 tank in this Terran army. So at least the queens shouldn't be too afraid of fighting this. The Widow Mines though do quite a lot of damage, but they should do friendly fire to the Terran as well. I think Zigur is trying to bait some of the Widow Mines with the Corruptors as they don't have any other role in this army anymore. And yeah, the Terran army is eventually chased away. Walk has to rebuild to make some reinforcements. Meanwhile, what is Zigur going for? He's going Ultras. Just like before, he is working towards those Ultras. Doesn't have greater spy yet, but I assume that's also coming in the future. So we probably will see Broodlords eventually if it gets to that, but for now, just focusing on the Linkbane, getting the Ultras in the mix, and only the few Corruptors for sniping Medivacs for the time being. We, the Terran players, will not be stopped. Not by the Zerg or the Protoss. Oh my. Oh boy. Oh boy. Shout out to campaign enjoyers. As another Linkbane attack is being denied by those Widow Mines. Zigur taking some shots and losing quite a few of the army, so has to regroup. He is taking another base though, so like looking at the map, he has almost half of the map covered in creep, in bases. Ooh, we have Ghosts in the mix and they will be trying to snipe some of these Ultras probably, but yeah, the Ghosts are going down, the Linkbane is rolling into the bio, the Ultras are following suit, but ooh, the Widow Mines are taking some shots as well. Some of them are friendly fire, I'm afraid. The Ultras still stand, they're going forward, and they will be taking Wok's army. Zigur is leading 2-1. So GG. Zigur will be taking the game. Let me write down, it was Oceanborn. Oh, okay. Interesting pick. Okay. Okay. Our players are getting ready. We are getting ready. GLA Jet. There you go, we have the scores and we are now ready for post-tube. as we are in the bottom left corner looking at the first of our players, the purple Zerg player representing Platinum Heroes, formerly known as Samir Duran. It is Zigur. And across the map we have our red Terran player representing Jedi Knights. It is Wok. I didn't start predictions. Sorry, I dropped my headset. Not again! Someone curated the Darth Vader gif here. I even had it set up, like, it was right in front of me, in front of my face. And I still forgot the predictions. I just... Oh. It is what it is. Oh, okay, Wok. Okay, we're not starting with 2 racks this time. We are starting with 3 racks. Okay? So, you know what? The previous game, it was not aggressive enough. We need more aggression. I mean, to be fair, like, his control is pretty good, so... It may just work out. Like, it may catch Zigur off guard, as, like, he generally doesn't make a lot of units early in the game. He may use those 6 Zerglings, but that's about it. So let's see. See how that works out. Of course the Overlord now scouts. Like, wait a moment. More barracks? And yeah, I mean, Zigur has to prepare. He will keep his Zerglings at home this time, which is something he usually doesn't do. And he is getting ready. Reapers are being produced, but there's a little bit of a supply block. Of course, Wok is expanding from here, so, you know, he's not planning to just go all in on Reapers. It's the Terran Cabal command is having a bit of a discussion in the chat. Sending the ghosts. Oh boy. Yes, we have 4 Reapers across the map. I mean, there are still only 6 Zerglings here for Zigur. There are 2 Queens though. And all the forces are at home. I mean, these Reapers will try to chip away at this 3rd hatchery, but it takes a while for Reapers to destroy a base. And they will do it. Have you seen this? Reapers destroy a hatchery. It takes a while, but they did it. That said, there's quite a lot of them now. We have 6, 7, 7. 7 Reapers coming in. The Zerglings are here to respawn, and one of the Reapers will be going down. 2 actually, I think. So not ideal jump there for Wok, but at least he was able to force quite a lot of units. He did kill that base of Zigur. So I mean, all things considered, pretty good damage to start things off. Oh, the Reapers see all the Zerglings moving across the map. Some of them get caught in the middle as well. This fight is getting quite bloody. The Reapers are being surrounded by the Zerglings. They're trying to save themselves with the grenades, but some of them will be picked off. And I mean, Wok has to master some defenses. There's a lot of Zerglings coming his way. He poked the bear and... The what? The bear? What accent was that? And Zigur will be going aggressive from now on. He's focusing on the Zergling, he's working on blending speed, so he will probably try to bust that wall. Wok needs defense, and he needs it soon. He's making another command center, but I think some bunkers would probably do in that wall to reinforce it. But we'll see. I mean, Zigur is not attacking yet. He's just keeping the Zerglings at bay. He's making more at home. He's still waiting for the binding speed. He's remaking the third. I mean, he is also close to supply block, so yeah, this overload is actually quite important. The Reapers are trying to poke at the Zerglings, but I mean, they have very hard time getting back up, and yeah, they get surrounded there. Walk has to get ready. The bindings are already morphing. There are overseers too for some vision. So Zigur is aware of what is going on in the Terran base. Combat shield is almost ready. Not quite, but it's about to be. And so is Steam. The Banelings are here though. They will try to bust. Will the combat shield finish? Just barely denied by the Banelings, and the Banelings roll straight into the main base, into the mineral line. The SCVs will be going down. But can the Terran army stop the rest of the damage? It looks like the Link Bane was cleaned up. 14 SCVs dying, but overall it could have been much worse for Walk. There were more Zerglings on the way, but they will be forced to go home as there are no Banelings in this army. And Walk is in counter-attack. He has Medivacs now, he has a Widowmine in this mix as well. The Banelings have just popped out, so they will be ready for this defense. Walk has to split. He has to split these Marines. The Widowmine has to help as well. Only targeting some Zerglings, and Walk trying to go up this ramp, but there's so much Link Bane here. He's forced to pick up. And once again, it looks like he will have to defend at home. The Link Bane is coming for another bust. Zigur really wants to get into that base. And now Walk is reinforcing it with engineering base. Zigur knows, sees that happening, and you know, is keeping the Link Bane at bay. It will take a bit more resources to take this wall down. Okay, look, I don't know what I said. Sometimes the accent just goes the way it wants. Okay. English is complicated. Don't let ever anyone tell you what. See, English is complicated. I can't even grammar anymore. More overlords are dying, which does supply block Zigur once again. It is quite important in the state of things, because that means that Zigur has to focus on the overlords instead of producing more army or drones. Small squads unfortunately for Walk cannot get anything really done. And it looks like Zigur is going for similar strategy to before, once again going for a Spire. There is of course no Hive yet, but Infestation Pit is on the way, so I assume once again he will be trying to get into Ultras and eventually Greater Spire if it comes to that. What a troll. What is even happening in the chat? I have drawn Zerglings before, fun fact. It is in fact the icon that I use on my all channels really. Walk still trying to poke at this gold base from both sides really. Oh, I'm not sure if that Widowmine hurt Zerg or the Terran more. Trying to see if he can get something done over here as well. Oh, nice Widowmine shot on the Zerglings. So that's something. And this Terran army is doing quite a lot of damage to the Zerglings, but of course Zerglings are cheap and easy to remake. The upgrades have just finished for Zigur as well. +1/+1 on the melee and carapace. third base for Wok has been set up and is currently mining without being harassed. But as I say that, I mean, there is some Lingbane sharking around, but it is being distracted by the drops quite effectively, so Wok is doing very well there, keeping Zigur at bay. So I'm distracted by all the moopies just chilling around. You know? Look at this guy. He's doing fun. Oh, this time the Lingbane is out of position and Wok is able to move in on the gold base. The hatchery will be going down. Very nice sniped over there. At the same time, the entire Lingbane was distracted and did have to come to this location, so you know, it was pulled away from the other base. And Wok is starting to get some momentum over here. The Corruptors are on the way, so they will be able to help with this medivacs, and it will probably be the end of the drops from Wok. Oh, a lot of queens are going down. More Overlords are going down for Zigur. I say that as he did save them. Just barely. He was able to maneuver them around the building, so they were saved. But yeah, the supply is very important for Zigur as he is close to his cap. I mean, so is Wok. And that Ultra then is now on the way, so the Ultralisk will be coming soon. I assume the Greater Spire is not far behind. Wok trying to get in with some Marauders. The Banix will be chasing them, but they will not explode on them. I think Wok was trying to set up a bit of a bait, but Zigur sees through that plan. The Lingbane is facing against the Bio army, but that is actually a big Bio ball there from Wok. It's pretty nicely set up in the choke point, and Lingbane cannot really get into it. Now the Zerglings surround small chunks of the army, which is definitely helpful, but there's so many Marines left over in the back. Zigur runs the entire Lingbane army, and that is enough for Wok to take this game, and we will be tied 2-2. Yeah, eventually Zigur kinda just ran out of steam, like he ran out of Lingbane. He had to keep remaking his forces, but he was not able to break that position from Wok, and yeah, we are in the tied up series. Oh, please don't crash on me, StarCraft. StarCraft, breathe. Don't leave me. Okay, it's alive. We're good. We're fine. It's okay. Everybody breathe. Hold on, I need to take a look at what chat is doing. There's a lot happening in the chat. Okay. And anyway, we have brought it to game number 5. This is the final game of the series of this tournament. And yeah, whoever wins this one game, this one map, will be the champion of this month's Master Swan Open. Ah, someone save me. The pronunciation is not with me today. And welcome to Alcyone, or Alcyone. Both versions have been used by a lot of people. In the bottom left corner, we have the purple Zerg player from Platinum Heroes. It is Zigur. Meanwhile, in the top right corner, we have the red Terran player from Jedi Knights. It is Walk. Welcome to the ASMR edition, where I'm trying to save my voice. It's okay. This is the last game. I can do this. I mean, it's been a good, like a really good tournament in general, but like a really good series. Like, it's been very action packed. There has been a lot to go over. I actually like. I've been trying to keep up with chat in the meantime, but it's difficult to do with how much action has been happening in this series. So that's really good. Both of our players are trying to play their best, bring their A game, as they say. And yeah, I mean, it's a close series. It's tied 2-2, and whoever takes this map will be the champion. Once again, Walk is opening with 2 racks on the low ground. A 2 racks Reaper. Mining minerals for Terran HQ. Oh boy. You get a day off from high command, no worries. I see Captainfisch is the official representative of the Terran High Command. Ooh, we have quite a few Zerglings here from Zigur. I mean, he has seen what Walk is planning, he has seen the racks. I think he has an overlord in the bases, so he has seen exactly what is going on, but you could also expect it after the previous games, as literally every game Walk is going for at least 2 racks on the beginning. Important to keep in mind though, there is no actually no, there is already speed on this Zerglings, I was gonna say. So these Reapers are actually being surrounded and all of them are getting killed off. Yeah, this time Zigur did get that speed earlier on. He didn't go for the third base, he opted for more Zerglings and speed instead. But this time also, Walk is not committing to the Reapers. Yeah, he's actually reinforcing the wall with bunkers. He is still getting more racks. They're right behind the mineral line in the natural base. So there will be still 5 racks, but he is focusing on the Marines. He's already working on Steam, and the Steam is protected by a supply depot this time. So it won't be bailing busted, like previously. And I mean, Zigur fended off the original Reapers, so he has some time now to work on his economy. I wonder if he will take that third base anytime soon, or if he's gonna go off 2 for the time being. Yeah, there's a lot of Terran supporters in the chat, I have seen. I should be cheering for Zigur then. I mean, I am a Zerg. But really, we're all cheering for the good games. Zigur is taking that third. That's interesting. Interesting pathing there. And yeah, our Zerg player is working on that binding speed, so soon enough the Link Bane will be there to contest the Terran. He also got vision of these barracks. Did he see all of that? Yes, he saw all three, so he knows that this is a 5 racks Terran. Focused on the Marines. The bunkers are being salvaged as the bending bus didn't come, at least not yet. Was that really necessary? You could have just lifted the barracks. Walk. Walk. Oh well. The wall is better that way. It was just some renovations. But yeah, the bendings are ready and I think there is enough there for Zigur to defend from this marine force. Wok will have to sprint really well to deal with that. And he decides to actually not go for the attack, or at least not go for the frontal attack. He splits the army instead, sends some of the marines home. The rest goes around, trying to see what damage it can do. The Zerglings are now at the wall, but the marines are there to defend, and there were no banelings in this attack. I guess they were lagging behind. The queens are in danger, but there's enough energy for some transfuses. Oh, 2 queens already going down though. The Zerglings are now back here, so this will be cleaned up, but 2 queens is still a little bit annoying. That said, Zigur always makes a lot of queens, so shouldn't be too bad. The lair is already finished. The evolution chambers are on the way, so the upgrades will be coming soon for the Link Bane. Alright, the chat is turning against me because I'm a Zerg. Oh no. Terrans in the chat. You say you are a Zerg, but no one hates TVT like you do unless you are a Terran at heart. Look. Oh boy. I was gonna say that, like, I mean, they hate it, but they still do it. I'm like, that's Terran. They hate it and they still do it. Yeah. 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 Like, yeah. 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 It's like, we have a double medivac drop from Orc going towards the top side of the map. The Link Bane is there to defend, so no damage will be done. Zigur is already on 4 bases and they are all mining. To some extent at least. Yeah, they're mostly saturated. At the same time, the Terran player was able to set up a third. And we will be going for a longer game here. Once again, Wok is trying to split the attention of Zigur, trying with that, you know, with that drops double. It's not even double medivacs, because like these are a bit separated. They will probably go for different bases, so it's more just, you know, to split the attention of Zigur than to get actual damage. And as we have these medivacs being chased away, there's another double medivac drop on the bottom side of the map. This hatchery was in danger, but Lingbane was there to defend. There is some Lingbane here at the third as well. Oh, the queens are going down to the marines though, that's unfortunate, but the Zerglings are here to clean up the rest of the drop. And the top side, the drop has also been chased away by the Banelings. Chat is having some conflicting messages. Another drop setting out from the base of Walk. And 2 more command centers as well. Hold on, I noticed that something is missing. I have to fix that right away. There you go. Where has the duck been this entire time? Shaking my head. Nobody noticed that the duck is missing. Ooh, that is a lot of link. Actually, I'm losing frames. That's how many Zerglings there are. How many are there? 139 Zerglings. Just, you know, running across the map. That is a formidable force from our Zerg player. Ooh, and all of this bio is running straight into the Banelings as well. It's very unfortunate for Walk there, and this base is in danger. I assume Zigur will be trying to attack very soon. What do we have for defense? There are Widow Mines, there are tanks, so definitely some defenses are ready, but isn't enough against this Link force, Link Baneling. What's happening to my words? Shaking my head. Oh, we already have a hive. Do we have an Ultra then though? No, there is no Ultra then, so no Ultras. I assume that will be coming soon. Although, I wonder if this is the best map for that because of all these choke points around. Maybe Ultras aren't ideal. Looks like for now Zigur though will be fighting with that Lingbane Corruptor style that he has presented in previous games. This time he has a really formidable force. This is a maxed out Zerg on Lingbane. Crazy things. Yeah, crazy to see, like, as I said, like the frames are dropping just from the sheer number of Zerglings constantly moving. Walk has set up a nice position here with the Widow Mines. He will probably try to pull the Zerg into the field. That Ultra then is currently on the way, has just started. It's a bit of a surround prepared. But with the Widow Mines it will be a bit difficult to execute. Queens are marching forward, they're meeting the tanks. The Lingbane is right behind them and is now flooding in. There is the Lingbane from the back as well, but it is meeting with the Widow Mines. Walk is trying to split up his army. The tank is going down. The Widow Mines have all fired. The rest of the bio is fighting the last of the Lingbane, and both armies suffer great losses, but it looks like Walk is chased away. The Widow Mines, of course, were not killed on the way, as there was no detection with that army, and they will be recharged. I think with some of the reinforcements from the Zerg. Both our players have to regroup their forces, refine their strategies, their army compositions. Oh, the Widow has actually walled all the way into the top base and are taking a few drones down. At the same time, we had some Zerg infestation over in the base of Walk as well. Ultras are now on the way from Zigur, so that will definitely help against the bio. And I think Ultras don't die as easy to the Widow Mines, so that's also quite good in this engagement. Wards come back, please. Oh, poor Queen. It's shot by the Widow Mine on the way back. Can also make the cast in German if that's easier. Funnily enough, I know some German, but not enough to make a cast. In fact, the sad part is, I think at this point, I know more Spanish than I know German, even though on German I actually had formal education, and on Spanish I'm just doing Duolingo. It's quite funny. Wok is trying to take this base on the right side of the map, but it is being creeped on. Ultras are now dealing with the leftover Widow Mines. Still some of them are around. Or is he just straight up not taking the base? He just saw the overall, like, you know what? Nah. I'm just gonna go for something else. Just go straight for the gold base instead. You know, it looks like we're about to be ready for another battle. This time there are so many tanks on the side of Wok, reinforcing this army, but we also have Ultras on the side of Zigur, so... the forces have changed slightly, but... we'll see how it goes, because I don't know if Ultras deal with tanks all that well. I mean, if they can get close, maybe, but they are just tanking shots for now. And some of the Ultras will get stuck in that maze near the watchtower. The Overseer is flying over the entire army, taking all the fire from the Widow Mines. But, I mean, there is no Zerg army left over. A few Ultras survived, but the rest of the Zerg army just clashed into the tanks and the bio, and yeah, the Terran army prevails. Zigur, of course, trying to remake his army. He already has some Zerging, he has some of the Ultras that he saved, but the Terran is marching forward. And the hatchery on the gold has been destroyed. Wok is still sieging this location. The Queens tried to go down to set up another attack, but they go straight into the tank fire. The Ultras are a bit stuck behind the Queens as well, but the Zerg should be able to clean this up. That said, there are reinforcements from the Terran as well, and I mean, it still looks like Zigur has barely enough to deal with this, but it's really close. And with another wave of reinforcement, I don't think these Ultras should be going farther. Zigur has to be careful to not overextend it. I mean, he did clean up the Terran army, and it will take a while to remake it, to refine it. And yeah, and Zigur uses that occasion. He reinforces with Zergings, so he has a few more Ultras coming as well. He uses the fact that Wok is now weakened. He has lost a lot of valuable units, and he just marches forward. The Ultras are munching on whatever they can, on the SCVs, on the buildings. Some of them are going forward to chase the army. One of the factories is also on fire. So the tank production is being forted as well. 32 SCVs going down, and the Ultras are getting into the natural base. I mean, there is not a lot here for Zigur, but he reinforces once again with the Zergings. The Zergings are rolling right into the main base, getting to that tank, to the rest of the base. And with that great counter-attack, Zigur will be taking this series 3-2. GG, congratulations to Zigur. That was really close. Hold on, as I need to quickly message the players to make sure that they join Macherino. Also, yeah, for those who don't know, our prizes are paid through Macherino, so if you are in the finals or if you are one of the random raffle winners, then make sure that you join that Macherino. But yeah, just barely, Zigur takes this series 3-2 in an amazing fashion, really, and yeah, I mean, it looked so strong for work, but just barely Zigur was able to bring it back, and with that counter attack, he just rolled his Link Bane, he walked his ultras across the map. He was very close to overextending, don't get me wrong, this was like a hair from overextending, like his ultras were so far forward with no support, but he bought enough time, the link reinforcements have arrived, and yeah, he was able to overwhelm our Terran player. But let's not forget, like, Walk has had a great showing in this tournament. He has taken down a few favorites of his own. He has taken a lot of maps from Zigur. Like, this has been a tied-up series. The previous series went 2-1 as well, so I mean, Walk has also had a great showing. He tried to be very aggressive in this series. He went for a lot of 2-racks, 3-racks and so on. Not proxy, but still very aggressive. But yeah, I mean, he was able to keep up for the most part with Zigur. He was like those games were not ending, like, you know, in some like failed cheese or anything. Like, they were actually playing solid macro as well in each of those games. So yeah, shout out to Walk for really a great showing on the first tournament that we cast him on, as far as I know. And yeah, shout out to Zigur for taking it all today, for being the champion of Master Swan Open for this month. Yeah, I hope you all enjoy it. You can of course take a quick look at the bracket. I just have to update the scores real quick. There you go, that should be correct. Yeah, we can once again take a look at how it all happened, as Walk on his way defeated Dave Lito's Captainfisch. He did lose to Zigur in the upper bracket finals, and then he defeated Captainfisch 2-0 once again. Captainfisch has been cheering for him in the chat this entire time, this entire finals, but it was just barely not enough. Meanwhile, Zigur did take down Yakuzaku, and then Walk, and yeah, in the finals, in this very close finals, he did take the grand finals 3-2. Oh, he did. Zigur in the chat saying that he didn't make Vipers in the last fight. I mean, yeah, Vipers would definitely be helpful, but I mean, it was enough. It was enough to take down Walk, and yeah, great to see both our players playing quite well. And great to see them participating. With that, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this tournament and you would like to see more tournaments like it, then make sure to support us on Patreon, because we Girl, focus. You can speak English. We fund these prize pools for these tournaments through Patreon. So if you would like to support these tournaments, if you'd like to see them continue, if you'd like to see them get bigger prize pools, or maybe be hosted more often, then make sure to support us on Patreon. We have goals listed there. Our next goal is for Sparking Tuna Cup, which is the non-MMR restricted tournaments, but farther on down the line there will be goals for the amateur tournaments as well. We just wanted to focus on our pro tournament first, to put it that way. And if you enjoyed this broadcast, then make sure to follow the channel. Usually I'm not the one casting, I only cast the amateur tournaments nowadays, or sometimes the Polish tournaments, for example. Usually you can see Light VIP on this channel as the main caster. So if you are interested in more StarCraft casting, we have a stream pretty much every day, sometimes a few times a day, so make sure to follow the CranKy Ducklings either on Twitch, on YouTube, as we are broadcasting to both of these channels at the same time. You can also follow us on social media. We have Twitter or X, we have Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, Blue Sky. More so importantly, we also have a Discord. Discord is like the main hub of our community, so anything that is happening around around our broadcast, around our tournaments will be posted on the Discord. So if you want to be, you know, up to date as soon as possible, then make sure you are on the Discord. Also, when we are hosting tournaments, a lot of communication is done through Discord because it's just faster to find players that way and so on. So especially if you are participating in the tournaments, then I definitely recommend joining the Discord so you can be in the know. As for me myself, I am Kuro, also known as 16 Squad Sanseki. It's a long name, but it is unique. And yeah, usually I'm working behind the scenes on the CranKy Ducklings. I'm usually the one, you know, setting up calendars or like setting up graphics or like, I don't know, setting up the brackets, adminning a lot of things. Like I'm mostly doing the behind the scenes work of CranKy Ducklings. Meanwhile, Light is the one casting most of the time with some help as well. If you are interested more in what I'm doing in my own time, non-CranKy Ducklings time, then I am also streaming at Twitch TV/16 Squad Sanseki or YouTube at 16 Squad Sanseki, but usually it's not StarCraft. That said, there may be StarCraft, so just so you know, I sometimes do stream StarCraft, it's just not very often. Like, usually, because I do so much, like, you know, StarCraft related things on CranKy Ducklings, generally my own streams are left for the other things that are not StarCraft, so keep that in mind. And in general, like, I try my content to be a bit more chill. Not necessarily low energy, but like, you know, I like my streams chill. I don't like loud alerts or anything of the like, so if that is something you are looking for, if you are looking for some playthroughs of games and the likes, then yeah, check it out. But with that, I believe that is all for today. As my voice is barely holding on for the last bit of the stream. And before I close this out, let me quickly check. Because we have a second stream today. I guess depending what time zone you are in. Let me see exactly when it is. Okay, so for those of you who may not know, we will be casting Fire Grow Cup. What is Fire Grow Cup? Fire Grow Cup is a tournament organized by Mindel VK, someone who has taken part in our tournaments before. And it is for the CIS region, so you will see a lot of players that you often see in our tournaments as well, but that is a specific CIS-specific region tournament hosted by Mindel VK. I think Hatsu is also involved in some of the admin work there, so, you know, definitely some people that we see a lot on our channel that are some friends of the channel, so if you are interested in that, Light will be casting that in just a few hours. In fact, this is in 4 hours. So if you are interested, the CranKy Ducklings will be back in 4-ish hours. And until then, you know, get some rest, get some snacks, get some dinner proper, or lunch, or whatever people eat these days. Look, world is confusing. And yeah, I will also be getting some rest, and I will be back here for the Fire Grow Cup in the chat while Light will be casting. With that, that is all for today. Bye!